Sandra all the time is here with the cold heart true. She's the ears and the eyes for me and you. Every day, everyone want to hear from Sandra. And every time on the air, she's getting better. Tell your sister, tell your brother, tell your mama, to call Sandra in the morning and in the evening. They always calling Sandra. And when they start fighting, they calling Sandra. And
That's right, folks. Everyone is telling their mama about the cold hard truth. Welcome to another episode with more truth telling, more problem solving, and of course, more tea spilling than ever before. Sit back, students, grab your tea and turn up the volume because class is now in session. Call in at 936-2626 because your voice matters. Share your opinion on issues that matter the most to you. Good morning, K-Man. How's everybody doing this beautiful
I needed to see Freddie Mercury in order to get that.
Oh.
Hello.
Hello, Blake and Aaron. How you guys doing?
We're good. We're good.
Awesome.
We're living. I got lots of family and
You got family visiting?
side. So last night was another night out for dinner.
What time did you get home at?
It wasn't too bad. It was like 9:30.
That's not bad.
Not bad. But like literally.
I forget that you guys have to go to bed pretty early.
Yeah, but I was like on the go since like 6 a.m.
You're up the same time though.
I think I probably get a little bit more sleep than you guys because I don't have to drive anywhere.
Yeah.
So maybe half an hour. I don't know.
Just take a nap during the day.
And,
does Gina wake you up really early?
No, I'm normally waking her up.
Seriously. Oh.
So
my kids are up at 5 in the morning.
Only on weekends does she get up early.
Not really.
Yeah, when you want to sleep in.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
During the week, it's always like time to get up. I got my, the wake up song. Have you guys heard the wake up song?
Wake up, wake up.
I don't know. Have you heard the news open? It's coming right now.
Every parent should know this wake up song. It helps.
Big news. I have some
Blake and Darren's Spilling the Tea with Sandy.
K-Man's top news headlines of the day from CMR.
Hey, Sandy, good morning.
Good morning, Blake and Aaron. How are you guys doing this beautiful Tuesday morning?
We're hanging.
We're in the newsroom for a quick minute.
All right.
What's up?
All right. So,
K-Man's number one news source.
That's right.
Here we go.
So, yes, the police is looking for a man. We actually broke this story yesterday morning. That's what makes us K-Man's number one news source. He attacked a woman in West Bay. It was a serious assault, actually. His name is Patrick McKenzie, age 49. He's being sought after by the authorities after this vicious attack on a female yesterday morning. I think, did we mention it on the show? I can't remember, but I know during my show, we briefly mentioned it. Yeah. So after 8 o'clock yesterday morning, emergency services were dispatched by 911 communication to this serious attack. And they said it happened in Mount Pleasant area of West Bay. So McKenzie, who's known to the victim, entered the victim's residence and attacked her. She sustained several knife wounds and was transported to the hospital by ambulance.
Lovely.
Yeah. So if you know Mr. McKenzie or Mr. McKenzie, if you're listening, you're probably listening to the radio right now. Go turn yourself in. Might be in your best interests. All right. A man has been sentenced to 23 years in jail for killing his quote unquote friend. Over $175 owed to him for the use of a car.
This morning, Sandy. These are great.
Yeah,
Uplifting.
I know. So Javon Dixon was sentenced to 23 years last Thursday. You guys might remember this. This is the one that happened in the vicinity of Gun Square in Bodden Town, right in the middle of the afternoon, like right around 5 o'clock. It's pretty shocking that it was done even that time of day. But anyway, he was identified as a shooter, apprehended by police several hours later. He had denied being involved in the shooting, and he was tried for murder twice. The first one ended in a hung jury last year, and the second one, he was found guilty of manslaughter with provocation. So he apparently told other family members that he confronted Dixon about $175 that he owed him. So crazy.
Not worth it.
Yeah, definitely not. Wow. Pretty wild. All right. Chilean visitors were arrested for stealing $78,000 from ATM machines in the Cayman Islands.
Wow.
How did they do that?
Yep. What?
How?
Well, I don't know the technicalities of how they made it happen, but what the police
I'm not
have said-
asking to know for my own use, but yeah, I was like, how do you just go and steal that much
Sure.
money?
Asking
the
for a friend.
RCIPS say that they compromised accounts at 4 local ATMs, and then they were arrested at Owen Roberts International Airport last week as they attempted to leave the Cayman Islands. So good on the RCIPS for stopping them. So yeah, they've been investigating the incident of theft and obtaining property by deception after a report was filed in mid-April. Local banks discovered that 4 of their ATMs were compromised in various locations in Georgetown, and this resulted in accounts, losing approximately $78,000. Pretty wild. We got like international thieves now. So the 27-year-old and 32-year-old Chilean natives will be spending some time, probably in our prisons.
I wonder why they picked the Cayman Islands for that scheme.
I don't know if they came here with the sole intentions of doing that or if they were just opportunists, because I find a lot of criminals just like, this looks easy. And then they take the opportunity. So we'll find out more, though, as the matter goes to trial and develops further. All right, ready for some good news?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Iguanas. Cayman blue iguana.
Mm-hmm.
Having babies in the States.
Babies.
Yes. So after 2 years with no success, the Cayman blue iguana called Fiona at the ABQ Biopark in New Mexico is carrying eggs. Of course, you know that the blue iguanas indigenous to the Cayman Islands are also endangered. And so the park is celebrating this development. Fiona is a 12-year-old female blue iguana, and she was brought from the San Diego Zoo to breed with Igor, who's an 11-year-old male who's been at the park since 2015. So the National Iguana Foundation estimates that there are fewer than 500 blue iguanas left in the wild. And so, they're encouraging, if zoos can participate by, whatever means, then yes, it's wonderful.
Those
So
blue
there's a-
iguanas out at the Botanic Park, they procreate.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
Yeah.
Have you been to
That's the
go see
whole
them
point.
recently?
Not recently.
Yeah.
You should go out there and see them.
Have you seen them procreate?
I haven't seen it personally, but
No, I
Okay.
was there on Sunday.
they
love it out
have a breeding program.
Yeah.
They actually have a Grand Cayman Iguana species survival plan, which really encourages the fertility, and they've got a whole plan on how to do it.
Blue iguanas are like pandas.
Yes. Yeah, well, sort of.
No, I don't know. You know how China has problems getting
China.
Yeah.
China has
Did you
problems
see?
getting
Speaking of pandas,
saw.
this is a bit of an aside story, but did you know that pandas can get aggressive? There was some
Yes.
video with pandas getting aggressive with people. Yeah, it's pretty wild.
I don't know if you saw, speaking of aggressive animals, this story's in the news this morning where orcas
Again.
that sank a sailing yacht
Again.
in the Strait of
Yeah, this
Gibraltar.
keeps happening.
It was a 5th sailing yacht.
Yeah.
And they,
like 49 meters or
no, it's 50 feet.
was it? What? Okay. I don't know. All I can say is that are getting us back for captivity.
They rammed the thing and 49 feet to be exact, carrying two. They rammed the sailboat until it breached with water. They were rescued though, thank goodness. But the sailing yacht, wow,
crazy. They keep doing that.
By the way, your internet connection is still a little bit spotty. Just FYI, I don't know.
We're aware.
Oh, okay. All right, no worries. You know what you do tomorrow is don't have your phone on Wi-Fi. Use your LTE and see what happens. All right.
Computer you're on is plugged into an actual landline, so it has nothing to do with the phone.
Oh, you're doing it from PC now? I thought you used to do it from your phone. Okay.
No, you're on our computer.
Okay. You can do it from your phone though, just FYI.
Sure.
There's an app for that.
Because my phone's not plugged into to the control board. But, I digress. Well, you just leave the technical stuff to us.
I don't know, Blake. I don't know. All right. You guys have a good day.
You too. Bye.
I know a thing or two about streaming. Trust and believe. You try to give people advice just because I don't have tech behind that name doesn't mean that I don't know what's going on there. But everybody could see how fuzzy he was, and they kept, you could see the internet connection was a bit spotty. So I don't know what's going on with Logic over there on DMS, but hopefully they'll get it sorted out soon. Listen, we rely on internet for so many things in this day and age. My goodness. Okay, roll call. Everybody here, all 250 plus of you. Oh, give me one quick second. I need to get our Instagram folks up and running. Hold on one second. They were representing really, really with some excellent numbers yesterday. I know it was a very interesting conversation for sure. So let me not leave them out this morning. So give me one quick second here and we're going to get them up and running. And yes, I will send the links. I'm sure my WhatsApp people are like, send me the links. We're going to do that here in just a second as well. All right, everybody's good. I see Shaka Zulu and all the usual suspects are in class, front and center. We got lots to talk about today, but of course you guys know it's Tuesday, so it's going to be Medical Rundown Tuesday first. And you guys love these segments so much. Somebody was messaging me the other day, Sandy, we need more. Have shows like this. I said, yes, I know. Very, very informative. Okay. Miss Paulette, I see you. So superstars are here this morning. What I consider some of the best superstars in the industry. We're going to be talking about International Nurses Day. Time to celebrate Mr. Shamari Scott, first superstar that's going to be joining us. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, Sandy. How are you doing? I wasn't sure if it was my internet, so I was moving around thinking it was my internet while Blake and Aaron.
No, that's totally on their end. Yeah, on Friday we weren't able to connect at all because the internet was down. So it was like, wow.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, they're still working through some growing pains over there. I'm not sure what happened, but they had a little bit of an outage. So good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I am good. Good morning, Cayman Islands. And I have the I Love My Wife cup,
Okay.
Because it was Mother's Day. I have to still represent. Happy belated Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.
Wonderful, wonderful.
And I have some good news and some bad news.
Oh my goodness. Give us the bad news first.
All right. Well, as everybody who watches basketball will know, Lakers lost. So Lakers are no longer in contention. However, the good news is our over 40 league, we made it through. So we're in the finals this Saturday for the over 40s league in basketball. So it's a best of 3. So we're going to have to win 2 to win. And your good friend Kyle, or Kyle as you call him, is on the other team. So
this should be interesting.
So we're going to be playing Kyle's team, but yeah,
Nice,
I still
nice,
think
nice.
we had a good shot. Last time we were playing, we won, against that same team. So hopefully, two times will still be a charm and we'll win again.
Good luck. Good luck. I know you're going to keep us posted.
Most
So,
definitely.
yeah, we absolutely love it. So we've got some nurses joining us here this morning.
Yes,
I feel like they're
yes,
always
yes.
the unsung heroes. So I'm very, very excited to have them joining. So good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you guys doing today?
Yes, we are doing good, ma'am.
Very well, thank you.
All right. So go ahead and introduce yourselves for me.
So,
Now,
Sandy, just to make sure everybody's aware, May 12th
Yes.
was International Nurses Day, and
Mhm.
it's the birthday of Florence Nightingale, who was a pioneer in modern nursing. Most people know Florence Nightingale, and we have 28 million nurses worldwide.
Wow.
And the theme for this year is our nurses, our future, the economic power of care, just to speak to all of the stats that go behind having a healthy population and the importance that nurses actually play in that. And, we are just very proud to have two of our nurses here, Nurse Shian as well as Nurse Princeland. Nurse Princeland has actually been with us from the beginning. So she has been with Health City for 10 years, and she'll all
Mhm.
her story as well. And Shian, who we're also very excited to have, has been with Health City for 5 years. She came from the UCCI nursing program that we have a partnership with as well. Government did a great job with the foresight, understanding that we will need nurses as the lifeblood of the healthcare industry moving forward. And that's a partnership that Health City also plays a role in. And she came from the UCCI nursing school. We've had her for 5 years. And she's
Mhm.
moved up the ranks and is actually in the intensive care unit with us at Health City. And Princeland is a special nurse as well, as she's in the dialysis unit. As you know, dialysis unit is usually people who really need that type of care, and has those tender hands and bedside manner from both of them, helping Health City to be the type of facility that we are.
All right, wonderful. Well, thank you for that amazing introduction. And good morning, ladies. So, yeah, International Nurses Day, fantastic. We're going to talk all about that. Nurses are really something special. I must tell you, if you've ever had a really excellent nurse, and you probably had a nurse that wasn't the best, you kind of appreciate that it takes not just from the technical side, like they need to know what they're doing, but it's really there's like a certain touch that a really good nurse has of caring and being involved with patient care. So good morning to both of you, and I was so glad to hear you talk about the nursing program over at UCCI, and that you have obviously utilize graduates from that program as well. So that's fantastic to hear. All right, ladies. So phone lines, of course, are open 936-2626. And I got some good news I'm going to share with you guys a little bit later on in the program. But what's your favorite part about being a nurse? Like, what is it that makes you get up in the morning and actually want to go to work?
So number one would be making a difference, I would say. Seeing your patient get better, that's the best reward. But also being able to work with other members of your team and learn from them. You're able to work in a variety of different places in the hospital itself. And for me, for example, I was able to work my way through different departments as well. So you get different experiences depending on where you are.
Wonderful. Yes. Nurse. Yes.
And nurses, yes, we develop the building the relationship with the patients and the family between the care. And we are nurses, we are the advocacy for the patients. So nurses offer the wide range of specialty and setting care for the patients. So the day by day what we do and by activity, it's really we love our job and we are getting the fulfillment, and really we're getting the rewarding satisfaction.
Mm-hmm. So lots of personal and professional satisfaction and fulfillment.
Yeah.
Did you know, ladies, early on that you wanted to be nurses, or did you think about other careers beforehand?
Uh, no, I wanted to be a nurse. It's a small story how I get into my nursing actually. I born and brought up in a small village. I need to say this. My very inspiring older sister and my aunt were nurses. So
Mm-hmm.
seeing them, they're treating the people from my village how they used to take care of the patients.
Mm-hmm.
So even my places, there is no large medical facility at my place, so the person whoever they live there, they used to come to my aunt for the first aid. If any minor illness, she used to treat them with the care, and she will advise them if needed or necessary. Yes, she will give them medications as well. So for them, it's no need to, I mean, wouldn't need to go far away to travel so far to get the facilities at the time, unless it's necessary or unless it's any serious illness. So from my childhood, yes, I used to watch. Yes, I have. Yes, I want to give them medicines. I was very fond of giving medicines. So what is the action? So that made me a nursing to do my interest in my nursing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And the other nurse, you have to forgive me. Repeat the name for me, please.
Oh, Cheyenne.
Cheyenne. Yes. So Cheyenne, tell us a little bit about, is this something that you always saw yourself doing, or?
So my father used to work in the hospital as well.
Okay.
He wasn't a medical staff, but
Yes.
I often got to go into the hospital with him, and I got to see the staff, what they were doing, and from there it built up. I didn't always want to be a nurse at that point, but one time, when I was maybe in high school, I had to be I was sick and I had to be admitted to the hospital. And after watching the nurses and what they did, that's when my interest grew. And then, yeah, that's where it started. And now I'm a nurse.
Wonderful. All right. Absolutely beautiful. So the theme for this year, Shamari, is Our Nurses, Our Future, the economic power of care. So obviously this is something that you would be very, very well versed with. The economies of care, touches on all aspects of healthcare. So let's talk a little bit about what that theme means and how you see it being relevant to the environment here in the Cayman Islands.
No, no, definitely. So, for those on the radio that can't actually see the screen, there's a report that speaks to the fact that poor health reduces GDP by 15%, and investing in healthcare infrastructure can help to recoup that lost money, and even more so, to save lives. And even outside of nursing, obviously nursing being a major component of any healthcare network, we see this play out in true terms, right? So the investments that we make, and there are also studies talking about the fact that when you look at healthcare, you're supposed to look at the long term, that long tail, because it's those investments that you make for the long tail that will actually benefit the long term health of any country, and also ensure that people stay alive, they're more healthy, less sick days, they're more productive, producing those numbers for GDP, which is the major indicator of the health of an economy. No pun intended. Um, and we see that in real terms, right? So prior to Health City being here, when you used to have to wait hours for an air ambulance, the quality of life would be different, for that individual and their family. And a lot of times, if you don't get immediate interventions, then you won't be as productive in your family life as well as at work, right? In that productive capability. We made the investment for instance, our radiotherapy center, and in order to treat levels of cancer. And you will understand that usually an individual may have to fly overseas for weeks and months at a time with family members, whereas by it being so close, and if you need the different 15-minute fractions. You can go in, get your radiotherapy, and for those that need to go to work, they can. For those that are going to go home, will. But that family member, the one or two that would want to be close, can also be productive during that time while still being there for their family member. So those are just some real life examples in real terms. And if you actually look at, in order to be adequate, you should have about 70 nurses per 10,000 population is the ideal scenario. I'll need to do the calculations to see where we are in the Cayman Islands. But one thing is sure, throughout the world, there's a shortage of nurses. And that's why UCCI is so important, bringing about the Cheyennes in the world and in Cayman. And that's why, we're really benefit from having Narayana Health as our parent organization in India, that the Princelins of the world can also come fully trained, come through to Health City as well, that we can keep fulfilling that gap that would rest here in the Cayman Islands, not only at the regular nursing level, but obviously at the higher levels in regards to the type of care that we're giving as well. And when it comes to that long term and that long tail investments into healthcare, Cayman Islands, obviously from a governmental perspective, will be making those investments. But to date, with our new hospital, Health City has actually put in $210 million in hard assets in the ground that you can't pick up and go anywhere. So that shows our commitment to that long-term benefit of health in the Cayman Islands, and as part of trying to help Dr. Shetty's vision. And the one person who truly understands the importance of nurses would be Dr. Devi Shetty. And even from the first day I met him, he always talked about everything he did. And yes, how that's just a small portion. It's the entire long tail of a stay, and nurses are a major component of that. And that's why, even though we have this one day that we're celebrating, at Health City, we actually celebrate a Nurse of the Month every month, just to make sure that the nurses understand how important they are to our ecosystem. And we're glad to be on here today so the Cayman Islands can understand how important nurses are to the ecosystem that we have.
Yes, wonderful. All right, so I want you guys, our listeners this morning, to show some love. And we're going to do that by having a little bit of a participatory segment, which, we love to do here. Call in and let us know how a nurse has changed your life in a positive way. If you've had a positive experience, just share it with us, 936-2626. I'm sure the nurses in the studio today would love to hear some of these feel-good stories. So I'm going to start off by telling my little feel-good story when it comes to nursing. So, I haven't had really a whole lot of hospital stays, I guess, thankfully. But, I think probably the first time that I actually had surgery and I had to stay in the hospital, I was in my 30s already. And so I had an incident, I had to do surgery, and you need help getting up afterwards and doing simple things like going to the bathroom. And these are things that you take for granted when you're just like up and, you're on your own. If I need to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, I can just jump up, go to the bathroom, no big deal. So when you're laying flat on your back and you need to go to the bathroom and need a nurse to come and help you with that process, talk about being humbled. Oh my God, Shamari and both nurses. I remember in the moment thinking to myself, first of all, I had a newfound respect for nurses, but also for patients who are in that position, maybe long-term, where they're having to rely on healthcare workers and nurses to do even the most basic of things. Thankfully post-surgery, it was just like a day or two that I kind of needed that assistance. But all of a sudden I recognized that this wasn't something that I could do on my own. And it was so amazing to have someone who was gentle and could just help me and who was understanding. I was embarrassed to even need help doing something as basic as like bringing the bedpan over and whatever. So I can't remember what nurse that was, but I just want to say that, that being my first experience, having to rely on a nurse like that was just, thank you so much. And I know that you guys do it every single day, and it's probably not seen as a big deal, but yeah, it was humbling to say the least. Have you ever had an experience, Jamari, with a nurse that you recall?
I am trying to think back. I have been so privileged, even throughout my former years of playing. I've never, let me knock on wood, because I'm still out there old now playing, but I've never broken a bone. I've never had to be hospitalized
Okay.
as far as I can remember.
Oh,
Um,
you've been very
so
fortunate.
I've been very fortunate. But that being said, um, I've always seen, for instance, the nurses take care of my lovely wife. Obviously,
Mhm,
when I was having my three boys, and that's a
mhm,
different type of care, especially as a new father. And they could tell when you're nervous, and
mhm.
especially my wife had three C-sections. All
Right.
of my babies were breech. Um,
Oh, wow.
so at times you're in the room
Yes,
waiting because it is a surgery, and one was
absolutely.
taking longer than we expected. And so I will tell you that the nurses were so lovely. They came over and they spoke to me, and they told me everything was going to be okay. And I guess they could see the worry on my face. So
Mhm,
I think that's, nurses have to have a part of psychology as well, right? Where
mhm,
they
mhm.
understand, outside of being caring and taking care of, they also need to recognize when somebody's stressed,
Mhm.
and they do go the extra mile to make sure that you are calm, and that you're going to make it through. And then I also think about my grandparents, my two grandparents,
Mhm.
when they were on their last legs. The
Mm.
nurses that would have been, obviously doctors come in and now and then, and doctors are there and they explain everything to you, but it's really the nurses that are there with you throughout, making sure that they're comfortable, as well as comforting you, you and your family. So nurses, outside of obviously the clinical, is of utmost importance, because
Yeah.
when doctors aren't around, the nurses are the ones that are going to be there for the majority of time. It's
Mhm.
usually that compassion that helps, to bring us through as well. So I don't have any specific names, but just because I haven't, knock on wood, been admitted as yet, but throughout my time, extended wife and grandparents, it's just the level of nursing care, period, in the Cayman. All of my experiences have been in the Cayman Islands, not only
Mhm.
at Health City but at HSA as well. And
Mhm.
at the end of the day, the nursing coverage that I've had, for my people, have actually been excellent.
Mhm. Mhm. Wonderful. All right. 936-2626. Feel free to call in. Share your, and in observance of International Nurses Day, please feel free to share your experience, your positive experience with nurses. Maybe you've had, childbirth experience, a sick or elderly parent or grandparent, or just even care for yourself. That, nurses really make a difference every day in our lives. So, Dawn is asking a question. Is advanced nursing common in Cayman? My daughter manages emergency services in 5 hospitals, RN, MSN. So let's talk a little bit about this, because this leads into the next section here. When you talk about the partnership, the academic partnership that's available with UCCI as well. So somebody just said, I've had really amazing experiences with nurses at Health City. Call in, folks. Don't be shy. Share your experiences. So thank you so much to that listener who sent that WhatsApp message. So tell us a little bit about this collaboration between Health City, Cayman Islands, and UCCI School of Nursing.
Right. So UCCI would have, their program dedicated to nursing and the different segments, and
Mhm,
one component or one segment actually brings them to Health City,
mhm,
just because obviously we have tertiary and quaternary care at Health City, whether you're looking at from a cardiac perspective, neuro perspective, ICU perspective, so they can get a wider range, of specialties, and get some practical hands-on,
mhm,
type of experience as well. They obviously get that through HSA, so it's a good partnership, with the major hospitals that we have here within the Cayman Islands. And
mhm,
we always look forward to doing our part and helping in that regard. So all of the theoretical, I think for the most part, is done at UCCI, and they have a great nursing program there and it's accredited. And then we fill our role when it comes to some of the practical that would be done at Health City. And in the future, we're looking towards, as well as when it comes to extending our Healthcare Explorers program, where we have some lucky students that get to go to India and actually see surgeries firsthand at a volume they would never be able to see on this side of the world. At times, they say you spend 2 to 3 months in India in one of our very busy hospitals. That's like a year to 2 years experience you would get anywhere else. And as we go through and have our discussions about where we take this in the future, we look forward to potentially taking some of those UCCI nursing students and putting them in a high volume center so that the experience they can get over, whether it's even a month, would be equivalent to anywhere from 6 months to a year at other centers here in the West, just based on the volume of patients. You have 1 billion people, so obviously they're going to be a lot busier in those top centers in India. And that's part of the secret sauce as well, right? They call it practicing medicine. You get better the more you practice. And because of all of our protocols in basketball, we used to talk about, practice makes perfect. And we say, no, perfect practice makes perfect, right?
Yes.
So you have to be practicing the right things in order to get it right. And we definitely, with our protocols that are top notch, we have JCI accredited facilities in India as well. We would put our students in the best of the best facilities, high volume, to ensure that, our Caymanian students and nursing students, when they come back, would have more experience than any nursing student on this side of the world with that extension of that partnership. So that's where we're looking to grow it. And hopefully we'll get there in short order. As you know, it's Health City's 10th year anniversary. We're going to have the opening of the new hospital, and then shortly afterwards, we're going to continue those conversations to make that a reality for our local nursing cadre as well.
All right. We do have a caller in the line. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Good morning. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. Sandra, I think this is my first time calling in.
Oh, nice.
It would only take you and Shamari to have me call in, to be honest.
I hope it's not a Lakers comment.
No.
I feel for you, Shamari. I'm going to continue to pray for you and just hope for the best. But I'm so sorry about your loss, man. We'll see what happened with the over 40 league, though.
Yeah, man. That's the one.
Yeah, that's gonna be the one. I'm getting the kids to school a little bit late this morning, so while I'm rushing, I'm gonna make mine fairly quick.
Yes.
But I had to call in for this segment because I've had nothing but great experiences with Health City, especially nurses, doctors. I think a lot of people forget a lot of the times that I think because they're excessive training, they're very blunt and to the point. So when they tell you something, they're saying, hey, if I came in for a flu or something pretty bad and I need an injection, they're telling you straight up, you're going to have to get an injection, right? And with the nurses, they have this thing about them where they're known. I think it's a purpose and it's a passion of theirs that they're all about comfort and obviously nourishing the situation, right? So I'm not ashamed to say this, that I am a grown 39-year-old that's afraid of needles. I do not like needles. Up to this day, I had a bad experience when I was younger. And if a doctor mentions that I need needles, automatically I go into this like anxiety state, right? So I remember one occasion I went to Health City. There was a wonderful nurse that was sitting through the whole process when she was told by the doctor that I had to take an injection. And I just remember her talking to me. She asked me the question, hey, are you afraid of needles? And I said, yes, I'm terrified. Is there any way I don't have to take this needle? And she said, no, it'll make you feel better. It's going to work right away. And while she was talking to me, I know she was getting the stuff prepared, but she brought up something of my interest. She was asking me about, my job, what I do for a career. And Sandra, Shamari, and the rest of the nurses here on the show, before I knew it, the needle was already done.
Oh, wow.
She'd already injected me. I didn't even know when the process happened. I did feel like a little slight pinch, but I didn't know that was the needle. So I think it's very important, the role that they serve.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of people coming in that do face, past traumas or anxieties that they have when it comes to going to doctors, and they're already on the edge,
Mhm.
and they play such a vital role in comforting the customers, obviously, or the patients that are coming
Mhm.
in. So yeah, definitely got to give props to Health City for that.
Wow, wonderful. Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, a good nurse really can put your mind at ease, right? So, thank you so much for sharing that testimonial, and thank you for calling first time in the program. Hopefully, it will not be your
Absolutely.
last.
No. Thank you guys. Have a good morning.
All right. Thanks very much. 936-2626. Give us a call. Share your awesome experience with nurses. When has a nurse made you feel at ease? I think that's fantastic. It was done and over before he even realized what happened. And sometimes, as Shamari said, it's a little bit of psychology in there. You just think about something else. And next thing you know, the whole process, the whole procedure is done. So absolutely wonderful.
And also want to give a shout out to obviously our health minister, who may be listening. Not sure if she is or not. She's obviously busy, but she was a trained nurse as well prior to going into, I think it was immigration, and then she had her own business, and then obviously threw her hat in the ring. But my understanding, obviously having the pleasure to listen to a lot of speeches and the such, was that her formal training was in being a nurse. So it's good that we have obviously that we have a health minister that has a health care background, and that empathy hopefully will help her in her job, because
Yes,
I'm sure
absolutely.
there must be a segment of nursing that speaks to empathy. And anytime I go to award ceremonies for nursing, and Health City always tries as best as possible to sponsor different awards or different conferences that have to do with nursing, understanding the importance. So then I go and I listen, and a lot of times the persons on stage who are the marquee nurses that may now be retired are always talking about the empathy when they were in school, and how they were taught empathy. But it's something that you need to have as well, obviously going into wanting to help people. But it's great that across the board we have nurses that care, that have that empathy, and want to see people healed. Nurse Cheyenne, can you tell us a little bit about your experience with UCCI and that program and the different segments? I think it's important so that if there's any young Caymanians or older Caymanians that want to get into nursing, how that program works, that we can do that as well.
Okay, so when I was in UCCI, we had the great opportunity of working with the Health City nurses and staff. We got to be in different areas of departments of Health City, see how not only the nurses work, but how the doctors work, the auxiliary staff work together to make this cohesive team. In the nursing departments, they are very helpful in showing us how things would work once we get out into the working world. The little how to interact with the families, how to interact with the other staff, and it was a good experience. Back a lot. So I'm thankful for them for being so welcoming and helpful.
Wonderful. And did you have an opportunity whilst at UCCI to kind of, get any training in specific specialties so that you kind of had exposure to different areas, or how did that part of the curriculum work?
Yes. So we were able to see how things worked in the operating room. We got to have a little time in the ICU, on the ward. So yeah, we got a little bit of each. So that was good.
Okay, wonderful. All right, 936-2626. Phone lines are open. Again, looking for people who might want to share their, amazing nursing experiences that you've had throughout your life. So wonderful. Thank you, Miss Barbara. She said she's watching us from the UK this morning. Appreciate it. Johan is in the house, misbehaving as usual, all the way in the back of the classroom. He's relegated to the back of the classroom on a constant basis. Good morning, Cayman Kind. So good to see you as well. So do feel free to share your positive nursing experiences. So hopefully to Ms. Dawn, that answered your question in relation to advanced training for nurses. Have you had, Shamari, I'm just curious about this. Have you had an opportunity to send any of the nurses here to India? I know you mentioned something about your facility.
So that's
in India.
yeah. So that's what we're working on as the
Great.
next phase of what we would be doing with UCCI is to get those Caymanian nurses over to India to be at one of the high volume centers to be able to obviously through the different levels see and obviously get hands-on experience in that regard. So we've done it with our SURF program. So that's our program where we have younger Caymanians that are looking to go into the medical field to become mostly physicians, where we've sent them across so that they can see surgeries. And a lot of them have actually used that on their resumes to get them into medical school because it's such a unique opportunity that a lot of people don't have that opportunity to do. So now we want to turn that on its head and have a partnership with UCCI where we'd be able to send nurses as well for whatever period of time that they would like to India to be able to be at a high volume center. And whatever time period they want, Dr. Shetty is completely on board because this is a part of what he wants to occur in the Cayman Islands.
All right, beautiful. So I mean that's gonna be an amazing opportunity, no doubt, to be in a high volume environment where you get, I mean, like you said, probably 6 months to a year there is the equivalent of like 5 to 10 years in a smaller hospital for sure. So we've got a few people joining us from Jeanette is joining us from Jamaica. Good morning, ma'am. And we've got Shantae joining us from Grenada. And she says that she is a proud nurse. So nurses represent for, again, International Nurses Day, which is being celebrated this week, May the 12th. And named after, one of the most famous nurses in the world, really. Absolutely beautiful. So Mr. Waltaro, good morning, joining from the Philippines. Says he's enjoying listening to the program and to all of the explanation and services that you all provide for the islands. Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. All right, great stuff. So Nurse Cheyenne has been a registered nurse for 5 years at Health City Cayman Islands, and she works in the medical intensive care unit. Nurse Princeland is registered nurse with 10 years at Health City, and she is a dialysis nurse. Is there something, nurses, that you can say that is unique to your kind of area of specialty? When patients come in, I'm sure dialysis is a very stressful situation as well as, being in the ICU. Is there anything that you can think of that you try to say to patients when they come into your individual sections that maybe can help, alleviate some of their worries or concern?
So when the patient comes in, we want to make them feel comfortable because we don't know too much about their their emotional state. We want to make sure they're being taken care of. We'll do our best to make sure everything goes smoothly and that they can come in and out as soon as possible. You don't want to be in the hospital for long, right? So
we'll understand and first we'll understand the patient need, what they need exactly, like medically what they need, and like emotionally how to give the emotional support to the patient. So first we have to meet the support the emotional support, and we have to meet the patient need. Based on that, yes, we will work.
Yes, beautiful. All right, give us also a little bit of some of the challenges really that you face when it comes to caring for patients.
Okay, so so if the patient is, for example, how some patients have their own fears, they have their own problems. We need to help them understand why they're here. We need to help them know that we're going to take care of them, because even if they're here to get help, they may not always be on board with everything. They might not be comfortable being in the hospital, so you have to make sure they feel safe and everything. And sometimes they won't understand why they're here. So helping them through that is a big part of the process. What else? Challenges for us as well.
I guess you just take it in
Difficult
stride,
one.
so you probably
Yeah,
don't even think
pretty
about
much.
it.
Yeah, thinking right off the bat is a little.
Challenges mostly we'll face with like with the communication error with the patient. So we have to follow the effective communication. So effective communication among the patient as well as our team members with the doctors and nurses or the auxiliary staff. We have to how to get the proper information from everyone. Then how the information is reaches to the family and the patients. So these are all the points we have to be very careful, and there we faces the challenges. The how whenever we convey the message to the patients, to the family members, how they will take it, how we have to comfort them. Yes, during that time, because doctors won't be there all the time, so we will be there with the patients most of the times. So whatever the patients likes or their feelings, everything else they will share with us. Yes, in at that point we have to be stable enough to handle the situation, to comfort as well, and yes, during that time we will face the challenges.
Shantae says challenges can come from families as well. I'm sure sometimes patients can present very, very calm demeanor, and then it's the families that may be a bit agitated or, just nervous about what's going on. They're worried. And so it's not just the patients, right, that you're having to deal with, but in the example that even Shamari used as well, it can also, be family members as well. So very, very interesting. Is there any particular case that stands out for you that when you think about your career thus far as a nurse, that's like your one case that you're the most proud of?
For me, my most outstanding experiences have happened in the ER. Like, for example, dealing with trauma cases like car accidents. But I think the most outstanding experience for me was my first code blue. So it was like early in the morning. I just started the shift. It was quiet. That's a bad word to use in the ER. But it was going swimmingly, and then all of a sudden the patient came in unresponsive, and we immediately had to get to work, jump on it. So that was my first experience, and I was lucky enough to have a very good team behind me. So they did all the heavy lifting, and I got a lot of experience that day for sure. A good learning experience.
And Nurse Cheyenne, for the listening public, what's a code blue?
Oh, so that's for example, like a cardiac arrest. So that is the number one. How do you say?
For the cardiac medical emergency.
Yeah, a medical emergency.
But in the hospital, if any patient we found is unresponsiveness, we have to alert everyone. So in the hospital, we have few codes for like chemical spill or the fire alarm. So for the medical emergency, yes, we have a code blue. If once we announce the code blue, we have a code blue team in the hospital. Within 2 minutes, the code blue team will arrive with the proper medical facility to the patient at the bedside. Whoever the nurse who witnessed the patient first they will start the first line treatment. So call for help and to start beginning with the CPR. And within 2 minutes or less than that, the other nurses and the code blue team will arrive with all the facilities. So it's very easy and it's very good. It's to save the patient's life.
Wow. So definitely some moments when things get a little bit hairy. Shantae says ICU patients being ventilated and can return to their families. So for her, that is a satisfying experience. So thank you so much, Shantae, for sharing that as well. Well, folks, International Nurses Day being celebrated on the 12th. Of course, Health City Cayman Islands also taking up the mantle locally and showing appreciation for their nursing staff. So tell us, Shamari, what did you guys do for International Nurses Day? How did you celebrate it?
Well, before we get there, I think Princeland didn't get a chance to talk about her most unique experience or case.
Yes,
And
sorry.
I'll be very interested to hear what Princeland has to say as well.
Yes, I do. I have like two incidents. So since I'm a dialysis nurse, I get chance to work with the transplant unit. So the pre and post the transplant patients, how they will come, how they will be excited to go for like a cadaver or the whatever the transplant. So after the transplant, yes, it's very really than the pre after the post transplant, it's a very crucial time. So the water, the what they take, even the air, everything. So every weekly once they will be having the test for the blood test and the whatever there is a level blood test levels will be there. So every week they're supposed to achieve the target. So first 6 months or first 3 months and the 6 months and the 1 year, how after the delivery the mother will take care of the baby, each and the growth and development we will be watching, and how excited we'll be happy to see our post transplant patients. It will be the same. So I'm very grateful to work there. It's thank God for the such opportunity. So really our patients will be very happy. So we can see their improvement. So yeah.
Okay, we do have a caller in the line. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Miss Sandra. Good morning to Shamar and to your wonderful, wonderful nurses.
Yes, good morning.
It is a beautiful day in the Cayman Islands. Anyway, Sandy, and to the nurses, I want to say, I appreciate nurses 100%, 110%. I've had 7 surgeries, so I know what it is to appreciate them. And for the help that they give, we cannot go through being hospitalized without the wonderful help. Yes, sometimes I found a few that wasn't too helpful or too nice, but the good covered the bad. So my latest experience was that I received the greatest gift that God could give for Mother's Day. I got my first grandson.
Oh, congratulations!
From my only son.
oh my gosh! Congrats!
So that was another experience. I want to say thanks to Doctor's Hospital where she delivered, and the nurses there was so wonderful to her. I mean, she got out in 2 days because I know it was because of their wonderful help with teaching her and showing her, because she's the first time mom, showing her what to do, how to do it. The baby's breastfeeding fine, he's doing fine, and I give thanks for all of the wonderful nurses throughout all our hospitals here in the Cayman Islands, because without them, I don't know what we would do. Me having 7 surgeries, because Shamar said his wife had 3 C-sec. I also had 3 C-sec. I had throat surgery and different tonsillitis and different things. So I know what it means to have a nurse's attention.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for that.
Yes, a big thank you to all of the nurses throughout all the 3 islands. Thanks to them.
Yes, and congratulations on the grandbaby. That is just fantastic news.
I was in my glory. I was in my glory I have two granddaughters, and that's first.
Grandson.
We were a family of 5 girls and 1 boy, so I'm really elated to have my first grandson.
Oh, wow. That's so fantastic. And you said he was actually born on Mother's Day or right before Mother's Day?
No, he was born Saturday.
Just in time.
Just in time, yes. So that's what I said. I got the greatest Mother's Day gift.
Oh, my goodness. That is so fantastic. Congratulations to you and your son and your entire family.
Yes, thank you, and have a wonderful and blessed day to each and every one of you.
All right, my dear, you too. Really appreciate it. Wow, what a touching story. First grandson. So Amani says, I've had experiences with both nurses and found them to be compassionate and always willing to go the extra mile, making their patients and family members comfortable. So thank you so much. Morning, Dee Dee. Morning to Stephanie. So good to see you guys joining us this morning. So we were asking Shamari, how did you guys actually acknowledge and celebrate?
So the great news is that we had a joint celebration in that Founders Day for Health City. It was just confined to Health City, which we celebrate based on Dr. Shetty's birthday as well. Happened on the Saturday. So we had a full function with lots of great food and lots of great drinks and 10-year awards and 5-year awards and excellence, awards of excellence. And then because I was in meetings all day yesterday, I'm not sure if we had that function as yet, but we have one special award for the Florence Nightingale Award for Health City that I'm not going to say it just in case it happened without me. That we awarded for the most delightful nurse. And then also on Thursday, we had Ice Cream Delight this past Thursday, where the nurses were able to go to our cafeteria and partake in lots of sweets. There's sweets that they would like to partake in. We actually had that this past Thursday as well. So not only thanking them on the day, but on the day and surrounding the day, we're also thanking our nurses. And Nurse Princelin made such an important point in regards to what she finds the greatest benefit in is when you have a patient who would need to be on dialysis. And if anybody knows somebody or has been on dialysis where you have to come constantly over and over for extended periods of time, when you're actually able to, for instance, get a transplant whereby you won't need to actually be on dialysis, obviously over time to meet the levels that Nurse Princelin was saying, it's always great when you see that positive progress towards getting the actual transplant, and then to get the transplant and to see that new person based on having the transplant. I am sure, because I've never been around it, but I'm sure that has to be exhilarating for her and the patient. And just to mention that soon come. So a part of our 10-year anniversary and our gift is going to be having that transplant center right here within the Cayman Islands, one of the only in the Caribbean as well. With our new hospital, it's going through the final stages. So the transplant law or act had already been approved. The regulations have been approved. The tissue law act has been approved. And there's a transplant committee that are actually at the last stages. And Dr. Gent would also, I'm sure, be working on it from a policy perspective to go up to the health minister for Health City to be licensed as a transplant center. So to start, we would be able to do live donors. So if you have a family member when you need that kidney, then they would be able to give a kidney so that you would no longer have to be on dialysis. And that's, very important for the health of that individual moving forward, as well as so they can get back to their daily living. And we look forward, because that's going to be another major step in the journey that Health City has brought infrastructure of healthcare here in the Cayman Islands.
Beautiful. All right. Wonderful. So 936-2626, final minutes of this segment. If anybody else wants to give us a call. Josephine in the comments says, hi, Princelin, such a sweet person. Worked with her in 2015. So you might remember Miss Josephine Medina there. Yes. Wonderful. All right. So what's ahead? What's ahead, Shamari, for nurses, and where do you see, the growth in the nursing profession as it relates to just overall healthcare, but specific to nurses?
Well, globally, there's a shortage, right? So
Right.
one of the reasons why Dr. Shetty also understands, having different nursing training sessions and colleges and the such that are within our Narayana umbrella is the importance that nurses will play to the global ecosystem as well, over 40 units and embedded units within India, but also importantly in the Cayman Islands. But the only way for it to be sustainable is eventually to have the majority of medical personnel as nurses in the Cayman Islands being from the Cayman Islands. And that's why we started our education program to get as many of our youth to be acclimatized to seeing the different careers that you can have and rewarding careers across the spectrum. And obviously nursing is one of those areas. And that's why we look forward to working with the UCCI, which already has a great program. So if we can help to enhance, that's what we're looking towards, so that we can get more of our young people to come into nursing, because we're going to need as many nurses as possible moving forward. And then we have those great nurses like Princeland that would come from high volume centers that have a lot of experience across the board, but especially at the higher levels that you would need for cardiac care, neuro care, and now very shortly transplant care here at Health City. So we're always going to look to obviously supplement and bring nurses in from overseas, but also seeing how we can work with the local ecosystem, the government, as well as UCCI to get as many local nurses as possible, knowing that they are the bedrock of any healthcare facility here in the Cayman Islands.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Wonderful. Ladies, what do you see in the coming year for yourselves?
I see, hopefully, much more experience, many more interesting cases, to learn more, hopefully, and to make a difference in many more people's lives. It's always something to look forward to.
I'm waiting for my transplant unit.
Oh my gosh. Hopefully soon come.
And Cheyenne, can you just quickly outline all of the different areas that you would have been within Health City prior to getting to ICU? You are one of those stories that we have whereby you have the right work ethic, you actually have the the expertise that with training you've been able to move in the various areas to get to where you are now.
Okay, so I started off in the outpatient department. That includes the dressing room, the vitals room, radiology, nuclear medicine. So that's after that, I stepped up to the emergency department, but I spent about 2 years in outpatient, a little more than 2 years. And then I went to the emergency room for about over a year. So emergency, of course, deals with a whole lot more than the outpatient department, and a different skill set as well. So that was great in developing a more hands-on approach to patients and critical thinking situations and quick thinking situations. And after that, I moved on to the ICU, the medical ICU department. So I've been making my way up, obviously, and the ICU is a more, as it means, a critical area in getting people from the bottom up in their health journey. So I'm still there now, and I'm still learning a lot. It's a good experience, and there's still much more to learn as well.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely wonderful. Well, thank you, ladies, so much. We have Emma saying congratulations to all the nurses at Health City, especially Regina, the most sweet and caring person one could ever ask for. Big thank you to all. And of course, it would be remiss of me in celebration of International Nurses Day if I did not give a very, very big shout out to Shalini over at Health City Cayman Islands as well. She's always looking out for me when I go there. So Shalini, I hope that you're listening to the program this morning, and thank you for your kind demeanor and for always being so incredible and amazing and always putting customer service first. And so congrats to all of the nurses all over the island at every private doctor's office. There are nurses who work in homes and do private care. There are nurses who work at all of the hospitals, government hospital, private hospitals across the island. So continue to, focus on your patients and lead with the amazing attitude that so many of you do have, because it really means a lot to people who have to, at times that are stressful in their lives, have to rely on your knowledge and your services that you offer.
Definitely.
Fantastic. All right, ladies, thank you very, very much.
Thank you for
We
having me.
appreciate it. I'm sure you've got some patients that you need to go and tend to. So you guys have a fantastic day.
Yes,
Thank you,
thank
you
you
too.
too.
All right, Shamari, another good show.
Definitely. And I hope that next
We
week
are
I'll be
MVP.
yeah. And I hope that next week we'll be telling you that we're up 1-0 in the over 40 finals against
Nice.
Cayenne.
Yes.
So looking forward to tomorrow next week.
I've got a little secret that's a potential win-win, right? You
Uh-huh.
kick him in the knee when he's going for a basketball. That'll both help you win and get you a new ortho referral. Because I've heard his knees are getting a little bit creaky anyway. So,
Oh, yeah, I didn't say it.
Oh, my goodness. Thank you
But
so
no,
much,
thank you,
Shamari.
Sandy. Thank you, Sandy, for another great show, and thank you for everything you do. And thank you, K-Man, and look forward to obviously being a part of this healthcare journey with Health City. And as we say, nurses are a major component, so it only made sense because we had Nurses Day, International Nurses Day, 2 days ago to come on and to give all of our props to nurses across the 3 islands, across all hospitals, and also nurses obviously in clinics and other areas in the Cayman Islands.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Have a good one. All right, folks. Ms. Dawn says, bravo, nurses. Thank you both. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. All right, let's take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to come back and switch things up a little bit.
Do you own a 1996 to 2016 Honda vehicle? There is an ongoing urgent safety recall regarding faulty Takata airbag inflators in Honda vehicles in the Cayman Islands. As affected vehicles get older, a combination of high temperatures and humidity can affect airbag inflators with the fault. If you're involved in a collision, the airbag can go off with too much explosive force, causing sharp metal fragments to shoot out and kill or seriously injure people in the vehicle. To check whether your vehicle is affected, go to hondacayman.com/recalls. Honda will replace any defective airbag inflators completely free of charge. Contact the Car City service team to arrange this. Please take the time to check if your vehicle is affected by this urgent safety recall by going to hondacayman.com/recalls now.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. Happy Tuesday. Such a beautiful day in paradise. Y'all know what I saw this morning? My neighborhood agoutis. Absolutely. I saw one having breakfast, munching on some, I don't know exactly what they eat. I think it's just seeds and whatever they can find. But yes, got it pretty close up. So, I'm always telling you guys about these agoutis in the neighborhood. We apparently have a lot of them around here, I must tell you. And the most interesting thing about them is they don't seem to really want to have too much contact with you. Like they keep their distance, but quite ironically enough, sometimes I get very, very close to them just accidentally, like I'm just walking the dog, and they just happen to be in close proximity, and I startle them and they startle me, and it's like, oh my gosh, I almost ran into the agouti. So about a week ago now, maybe it's a week ago, I was doing some cycling. So got myself a little bicycle. Big shout out to Craig Marin. Got myself a bicycle. Craig sorted me out with, my comfy seat and my little night light and the water bottle and all the other stuff. Made sure that the bike was all ready to go. made all the necessary adjustments for me because, you know, you get a bike, the frame might be the right size for you, but sometimes you still need to adjust your seating up and down to optimal height. So we did all of that. And, you know, he delivered the bike for me at home. Thanks again, Craig. Really appreciate it. And so I've been trying to go most days and just like cycle around the neighborhood, not on the main road, which is what I used to do before, because I got to tell you, cycling on the main road seems to be taking your life into somebody else's hands, which whew, we're going to talk about some accidents and stuff this morning. Never a good idea, right? So, you know, just getting a little bit of exercise and exploring around the neighborhood. So anyway, I was just cycling around, speeding around the neighborhood, doing a little loop. Like there's a nice area where I can loop around and not have to worry too much. And all of a sudden, I was like coming around a bend, and I think that I startled this agouti. He obviously didn't know what is this noise, like what's coming around the bend. And I mean to tell you, they are fast. He took off running so fast, and he made some very sudden, like he had to change course. And so he like dashed one way, then dashed the other way. I was just like, wow, they are really fast. And, you know, when they're running that fast, it goes from a hop to just like a full on, you know, speed, straight ahead ordeal. He was not stopping. He was not looking back. He was not worried about anything. He's like, I'm getting the heck out of Dodge because I don't know what that noise is. I don't know what's going on. So I thought it was so interesting. And I really enjoy watching them. So I've got another video. Another agouti video. I'm always recording them, doing what they do best, which is just hanging out in the neighborhood. So I figure that we have, I know for a fact that we at least have probably between 5 to 10 that hang out in this very, very specific area. So look at this one this morning. There he is. Look at him. He's eating. Yeah, there he goes. Look at that. Check him out. Eating something in the grass. Mm-hmm. So, but I've counted it to 5, like in one general area. And then I've seen more. So I figure more than that. I think they live in clusters though, like little families.
I think they eat little.
This one is out hanging out. Normally you'll see like he'll be here and then others will be, you know, they don't seem to really be in super close proximity to each other normally. They kind of, you know, roaming around and stuff. But yeah, they're fast.
Whoa.
I was like, huh. Check him out. That was Zeus pulling me.
Morning, how are you?
And then there he goes, walking away. Gonna look for more food. Yeah, but there's a couple times I've almost ran like right into them. I'm like, oh my gosh, they scare me, and I'm sure I equally scare them. Okay, honey, chillin'. Everybody's good this morning. Good morning to all of our Instagram folks. Let's talk about this car accident. Oh my gosh, this is so horrific. I guess I should warn you that if you are a sensitive person this morning, maybe this is not the show to watch. I don't know what to tell you because it's just so incredibly sad. We've got footage that we're going to show you. You know, it's challenging on the one hand because you know that obviously 3 people lost their lives in this horrific accident. But on the other flip side of this, we have to talk about the reality of what is happening on our beautiful islands, all of them pretty much. I mean, we don't hear much on Little Cayman about accidents because I guess, I don't know, people not driving there as much. But definitely it is shocking to see the number of accidents that we have and also the severity of the accidents. It's not like, you know, they're hitting a little bump in the road and then, you know, that's it. I mean, they're taking out light poles, taking out trees, running into brick walls, you know, seriously killing themselves and other people on the roadway. So we do have, there's a video that I want you guys to watch this morning. We actually posted it on social media yesterday. And then we have some other footage that I'm going to ask you guys to watch as well. Part of me feels like we need to try to address this and we need to get a grapple on it. I know that some members of the Shamrock community are here watching this morning, and they're going to talk about, I don't think they're going to come on. I was hoping they would have come on. But, you know, they've been campaigning and trying to get the government to take some steps to curtail what they say is literally a, a racetrack. And they're saying that it's unfortunate, but in their opinion, enough isn't being done. And they don't feel like the government, both the elected arm, the police, the NRA, everybody sort of collectively are doing enough to curtail the situation. So we'll talk about it, and I want to hear what you guys think is actually going to work. It's the old adage that cars don't kill people. People are the ones who are killing people behind the wheels. So I think the authorities feel like you can put every single measure in place that you want. And if you still have people who don't appreciate the necessity to drive with care, drive with caution, do all of these things, that none of those measures are going to work as effectively as you would think. So Stephanie says, this is one opinion, stop blaming the roads. It's the people who drive on it, drinking and driving. So what is it that we can do? This is a serious question. What is it that we can do to really get people to drive better? Do we need to start being really, really strict with who can get driver's licenses, who can drive on our roadways? And having said that, there will still be people, unfortunately, who are going to take matters into their own hands and drive unlawfully, illegally. I mean, we see it with the drinking and driving. It's just, it's shocking on the one hand that people drive with such recklessness and such disregard for people's lives, not just their own lives, but innocent people on the roadway as well. So again, a little bit of a trigger warning this morning. If you're very, very sensitive to these types of things, this is probably not going to be the show for you. But the first video I'm going to show you is video that we received from the scene. And quite ironically enough, this person sent it yesterday morning, but I didn't even see it yesterday morning because I woke up to a flurry of messages that came through, about the accident. So it's just really, really shocking, really. So the message that came along with this, it says this happened around 12:30 a.m. on Spots Strip. I'm hearing that 3 people have died. The road is blocked off. I was in, and somebody, this is messages that they were sharing. I was in front and I watched the whole thing happen. 2 cars racing, ended up head-on collision. Someone trapped in the car, on fire. 23-year-old boy. We had to pull away from the burning car. He's in bad shape, but should be good. I called the ambulance and fire straight away. And then they went on to say 3 cars were involved and 1 drove away. So the police are looking for another one. I mean, pretty crazy. But those were the messages that we received. We do know that the police are trying to identify these individuals, and we're going to talk about some of that here this morning as well, because we do need to clarify a few things. So this is the first video that was received. And again, it was sent yesterday morning, but I didn't see it. So I haven't actually seen this video. This will be the first time of me viewing it, but obviously we know that it's from the burning vehicle. So again, I'll issue a trigger warning to anyone who's uber sensitive that perhaps you won't want to watch or listen to this. So basically what we see here, I mean, this sends chills up my spine, is obviously the ambulance services on location. And this is the fiery aftermath of this accident. Now, when you see the vehicles afterwards, you get, I mean, this is horrific, obviously. These people have been burnt to no recognition, from what I understand. The police are asking for your help identifying who they are. But someone also sent additional footage, which I want to share with you now, of the vehicles actually being taken from the scene to the facility there where they take, vehicles that are involved in fatal collisions. So have a look at this. I mean, it's pretty wild.
You want me to hold it? Record them. Oh, you're taking the video. Shit, look at this thing. Holy shit.
Oh, sorry about that. So this is, you hear the disbelief of these poor people, but these are the vehicles that were, at least 2 of them that were involved. And apparently there was also a truck. Look at this one. This is the one. Look at that. I mean, there is nothing left. I don't know if you guys saw that. Let me just show you that again, because there is literally nothing left to that burnt vehicle. I mean, that's it. Look, what on earth? Just unbelievable. All right, this is a little PSA video that I found about accidents. And I don't know what the solution is. I don't think there's any singular solution like most of these types of issues. That last one was the Honda Fit, yeah. There's not going to be any one thing that's going to be a magic bullet that's going to work. But I am curious to really find out from you guys what you think is going to be most effective. So let's watch this PSA. Because I think a lot of it is trying to educate people as well. So here we have, for the benefit of our radio listeners, we have a scene here where 2 cars are coming into an intersection, and then everything is sort of done in slow motion, and they stop and get out of the car, and now they're going to have a conversation. But you'll see the you'll see the kind of twist to this in a minute. So both cars at the intersection, they get out. Everything is in slow-mo now.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought there was time.
He's just pulled out. I don't have time to stop.
Oh, come on, mate. It was a simple mistake.
I know if I was going a bit slower.
Please. I've got my boy in the back.
I'm going too fast. I'm sorry.
So really just about regret. So both drivers here a little bit at fault. One guy not paying attention, the other one going too fast. It was too late. Nothing more could be done.
I'm sorry.
And it only takes a split second for somebody to lose their life. He's like, now he's thinking about, had he been able to stop, he's thinking about his son in the back. I don't know what it takes. I don't know if drivers need to see more accident scenes. Like, this could be you. Like, metal doesn't care. Metal doesn't end up in the hospital. Mangled bodies do. I think part of the problem, and I don't think there's any speed bumps, there's no roundabouts, there's nothing that's going to change people's mentality, is we do have drivers who come from all over the world, from all different jurisdictions, and they're actually used to, like, road carnage is nothing unusual to them. So if that's not going to be a deterrence, right? The fact that you could lose your life, what is going to be a deterrent? I'm at a loss for what is actually going to work. My understanding is this guy oftentimes sped, and I'm going to share an audio note that is in circulation from the mother of the young lady. And so it's interesting to see the people who have passed away in this accident. Unfortunately, you hear now, like, the mom saying, oh my God, I can't believe this. My daughter was is now gone. And I mean, you hear the trauma that these families are left with, and you have to wonder, why is it that nobody ever thinks about, oh, if I go out there and I speed and I lost control of the car, I'm drinking and driving, like this is going to be the outcome, right? So this is going to be what my families have to deal with. You know, a lot of, in this case, it happens to be that all of the individuals are actually, they're all foreign workers, although the police have not been able to, they haven't said yet that they've identified them. We know two of the persons kind of by their street name. No one seems to know their proper name, which I think is so weird, but whatever. So the RCIPS did issue something yesterday saying, listen, you know, if anybody can help us identify who these individuals are. Now, let me clarify something here, because there was a bit of misinformation being circulated in relation to who the one of the persons was. And I said to myself, from when I first saw it yesterday morning, because early on it was being sent out like, oh, you know, these are the three people. And one of them looked like a Caymanian. And I hate to say this because I'm sure our foreign listeners are, what does a Caymanian look like? Well, if you know, you know. Can I just say it that way? I don't really know. You know, normally you can tell what a Caymanian looks, who's a Caymanian. I said, oh, this is strange. This looks like a Caymanian. And I'm thinking, but we would know very, very early on if a Caymanian was actually involved in this. And, you know, because this is the Cayman Islands. So listen, anything, this is how small this place still is, right? Something happens and it's a Caymanian. You're going to hear, oh, that's so-and-so's cousin. That's family to this one. That's so-and-so's grandson. That's just how the Marl Road literally works. And so I thought, I mean, the second I got it, I said, this guy's a Caymanian, but this is really, really strange because I don't hear any rumblings of a Caymanian being involved in this. Well, sure enough, even up to late last night and this morning still, people are still circulating this young man's photo and stuff and saying that he was involved. And unfortunately, he was one of the people who lost their life. And he wasn't. I mean, his aunt had to take to social media saying, listen, my nephew is just fine. Thankfully, you know, we're so sorry for all of the people who have lost their lives, but we don't know who the third person is, because what was happening is they were sending around this photo of this Caymanian young man. His name is Kevin, and it's not Kevin. So I do want to try to help Kevin out this morning, because like I said, even up to this morning, I'm still getting pictures of Kevin saying, oh yeah, these are the three people. And I'm going to show you why I think there's a little bit of a confusion, but I not fully understanding why people are completely confused, right? So here's a backdrop about the victim. So we have a number of pictures and videos of two of them who were a couple. You know, as the Mall Road goes, you can always expect some element of salaciousness in what's happening sometimes in people's lives. So I'm going to just give it to you guys straight. I'm not here to really sugarcoat anything. We're all adults here. This is the big world. And so, you know, it is what it is. You take it or leave it, however you want. Nobody's trying to insult the recently departed, but it's important to clarify some of why I think there is confusion surrounding who these people are and kind of what's going on here. Yeah. So first of all, there was a couple in the vehicle. And the couple, I mean, he's married to a Caymanian woman. Of course, everybody was sending around the pictures with the wife and from the wedding and all that. So I've seen all of those photos. It's fair to say that he was with his girlfriend. I can't explain it any other way when this happened. And so him and his girlfriend actually perished in this accident. Now, his wife, Caymanian, yesterday, she was obviously upset about what happened. People say she took off of work and she was crying. it's a bit of a strange situation because from the looks of it, at least from his perspective, this looks like this is very much a marriage of convenience. I mean, like I said, I'm just going to give it to y'all straight. You know, he was married to her, but sleeping with another woman at night kind of situation. Oh, you can do my clothes, but you're not good enough for anything else. Well, unfortunately, both of them perished. So this is him. And again, we have street names, but nobody seems to know his real name. So his street name was Fresh. Don't ask. I can only tell you, you know, Fresh. So anybody knows who Fresh is? Now, people were confused, right? Let me show you something now. This is where the confusion came in. People were confused with Fresh's photo because he bleaches. So I'm going to show you another photo. And again, this is just the reality of what people are dealing with. People are circulating this even up to yesterday saying, oh yeah, these are the three people. And two of the pictures are of Fresh. So there he is. The middle picture and the bottom picture are both of Fresh, right? So yes, they're Jamaicans. So Fresh just looks differently. And this one versus this one looks like he lost a little bit of weight maybe and bleaching. That's all that is. Okay. So, you know, what can I tell you? You know, bleaching changes how you look. So that's the same person though. And there are people who were mistakenly and erroneously sending this around saying that those are two different people. No, they're the same person. Just that one, he looks a little bit less fresh, I guess, than the other one because of the bleaching agents that people use, right? So the third person seems to be whoever that individual is. That person seems to be a bit of an enigma because nobody knows who that person is. Because the photo that they have been sending around saying, oh, this is him, isn't that person at all, right? So let me clarify. Kevin Whitaker is this Caymanian's name, is alive and well, and he was not involved in this accident. So here's Kevin. So people had extracted this picture and said, oh, this is the third young man. And I'm thinking, yeah, he looks like a Caymanian. That was my first thought yesterday morning. And then by 10:30, because I hadn't heard anything about any Caymanian being involved in this or anybody saying, you know, my cousin has died or anything like that, I'm thinking, okay, this is really weird. Because again, knowing what I know about the Mall Road, call me a Mall Road expert, if you will. If he was a Caymanian and if a Caymanian was involved in this, we would have known within an hour or two that a Caymanian had lost their life. That's how close-knit and small the Caymanian population is, right? So Kevin, I'm so sorry that people have been sending around your photo. Kevin is alive and well. So please, if you've been circulating Kevin's photo saying this is the third guy, it is not. Kevin is fine. He's fine, okay? Nothing to do with Kevin, all right? This now is not three individuals. That's actually only two of the individuals. Let me try and get a little bit of a closer up here. So yes, there's a one female. My sources said that her name is, her street name is like one thing, but then she goes by, oh Lord, hold on one second. She goes by Cara Ruff, .79. So obviously she was born in 79, most likely. And this is now where, you know, the police have to do their little research on each child. She does have a social media presence. So through social media, they have to be able to figure out who she's related to. So already her friends and family members, you know, would have been posting stuff on social media with her. So, you know, I can tell you that, you know, their loss is unimaginable, to be quite honest, and our condolences to all of the families involved in this tragedy. So Bridget Cookhorn has posted, says, sleep in peace, my sister, Cara Ruff. So, you know, they have to now, this is where social media is helpful, is that they have to reach out to the people commenting on social media to say, hey, is she literally your sister, or sister as in a friend? And who is she family to? Who is she related to? So this news of her death, I guess she was in this dance hall scene. I don't know exactly, what she did per se. But, she's related to somebody called Preeny Ruff and Crystal Ruff, all of Jamaica. And so they shouldn't have a problem by today identifying exactly who she is. So very, very unfortunate. I don't know. It's just very, very sad. Anywho, so the female will probably be the easiest one, in fact, to identify. And we have gotten footage of her on like the boat cruises, hanging out, living her best and most fabulous life. There you go. I wonder, I have to wonder if they actually went on a boat cruise, because normally Sundays are Uber boat cruise opportunity. And does anybody know if they were out on Sunday at a boat cruise, and maybe they were still partying into the wee hours of the night? So here she is.
My best friend. No matter how many friends I have, no matter how much time I spend with them or how much I talk to them, always remember that no one can replace you. You were, are, and will always.
So sad situation there, without a doubt. So that's her. That's the young lady. And then the young man, I figure everybody must know who she was dating, who her boyfriend was. And since they've already identified his Caymanian wife, this is just a process of contacting the family to say, hey, wifey, we know he was out there with another woman, but surely you must know, give us his name, sort of thing. So he'll be easy to identify as well. So they kind of look different in the pictures. And it's really just because, makeup does wonders for you, hair, extensions and whatever else, the lashes, whatever. And obviously, again, the bleaching can be, it can make you look different. You do look different when you're a different complexion. So Cara will be easier, in my opinion, to pinpoint than anybody else, really. And then everybody else from there, the young man. Who the third person is, I still haven't heard. Like, I've still not heard who the third person really is, because they have been, so somebody says the guy that died, he lives Wilty Drive. Somebody sent this. They don't know his name. It's just so weird to me. People know his exact address. They live at number 363 Wilty Drive. The landlord can provide their names. How is it that you know exactly where people live, but you don't know their names? It's just so weird. And I guess this is just a sign of the times, right? From the perspective that, people's street names, you go out partying with them on party boats and whatever else, but you still have no clue who they really are. I guess everybody just goes by Fresh and Barbie and, all sorts of other names, but yeah. So, somebody even sent the landlord's number, but they still don't know their name. I just find that so weird. So yeah, so this young man, his look definitely changed, because all people are like, is this the same guy? So they have different pictures of him. I'll show you another one. Obviously, because of the condition of their bodies, this presents a difficulty for the authorities. So just by a process of elimination, and I'm assuming they might have to do, the forensics team will have to do dental records comparison if they have any dental records on island, or requests. I don't know how easy it is to get like DNA samples and that sort of thing. But there are pictures with him and his wife. He was married to a Caymanian woman. Like we said, it doesn't appear that relationship was entirely on the up and up. I don't know how else to explain it. Like I said, I'm just giving you all the cold hard facts here. All right. Nonetheless, Cara, it will be easier. Like I said, they should be able to narrow down this couple. Now, the third person, I have received absolutely nothing concrete and who the third person is. So this is a bit of a mall road theory about this, right? When you have like a third person like this that nobody seems to even know who it was, chances are he's definitely not Caymanian for sure. We can, by process of deduction, probably say that he is definitely a Jamaican. They're probably all hanging out together, brethren, whatever. Good morning, caller.
Hi, Miss. Hi, are you live or no?
Yes, we are live, and you're live on air as well.
Okay, I'll text you.
Okay, all right, hon, thank you. So yes, so he is, I would say, the third guy, whoever the third guy is, I'm pretty sure, 99% sure. I'd be willing to put the farm on it. He's also probably a Jamaican gentleman as well, but he's probably someone who's relatively new to the island. I'm willing to bet. So that might explain why nobody seems to really know who he is. So this is the Jamaican fella as well. So everybody just knows him as Fresh. Somebody's like, yep, I'm the neighbor. I know him, whatever. But we only know him as Fresh. Nobody knows his real name. Here they are. Partying at
Everybody up here. Yeah.
In happier times, without a doubt, living at the moment their best lives. So he has a sister that lives in Cayman. Well, this should be easy for the police to solve if he has a sister. So yeah, no indication of who the third person is yet. I mean, somebody says her right name is Cara, street name Ramp Rough. So his name. Okay, so apparently his wife Danielle is posting stuff. This makes sense now. We're putting the pieces of the puzzle together, because yesterday somebody kept saying to me that they were hearing the name Junior Whitaker, but I'm still a little bit confused about how Junior ties into this. That's not the husband's name though. I think his wife by connection, Cayman connection. So this is the young lady again. You see, I swear every picture she looks a little bit different. I mean, I don't know. If I passed her in the street looking like this one day and then another day like this, I probably wouldn't recognize her, to be honest. So this post says, rest in peace to the love of my life. Oh, honey child. I would have to question that a little bit. So I'm just saying, okay, well, I guess he could be the love of your life and not vice versa. But anyway, so is his name Junior Whitaker then? Because somebody kept mentioning about this Junior Whitaker. This is him. This is the same guy that is out partying with the girlfriend, and he was in the car with the girlfriend. This is the wife now saying how much she's going to miss him. But it's a little bit weird. So who's Junior Whitaker? Hold on. Let's look him up on Facebook. Junior Whitaker. Junior Whitaker. Oh, that's his name? Where'd he get the last name Whitaker from? Okay. So there you go, Popo. We've just solved one other person for you. All right. So his name is Junior Whitaker. That's unusual. And I can see now why they were confusing Kevin, because Kevin is a Whitaker. So you see how there's like traces of where it kind of makes sense, but at the same time, okay. So here's your guy. All right. So Junior Whitaker, a bit unusual, but a lot of Caymanians and Jamaicans share common ancestry and common names for sure. So he's actually a Whitaker? Huh. Okay, well, there you have it. He's from Mandeville, Jamaica, went to New Green All-Age School, claims that he studied at University of West Indies, and he worked at, I think, Massive or one of those places. So, okay, well, I mean, that's definitely him in the picture with the wife. And unfortunately, like I said, he was actually with the girlfriend in the car at the time of the incident. So, wow, that's pretty weird. All right, so they should be able to narrow it down from there. All right, so we've identified him, we've identified Cara, and still have no clue who the third person was. Wow. Sad. Looks like they probably had a child together as well in 2022. See him with a baby. Well, I don't know if it was hers, but anyway, he has a baby. Interesting. The Whitakers. Okay. Got married in 2019. All right. Well, he was out there living his best life. Telltale signs of bleaching in some of these photos for sure. Here he is smoking his little weed at a party, enjoying himself. All right. So what we do know from people who witnessed the accident, there's probably two likely causes here: speeding and alcohol. Simple as that. So let me ask you a question now in terms of solutions to this. I'm reading a few messages. The third guy could have been visiting on a work permit, but not gainfully employed. If he was gainfully employed, the employer should be able to shed some light. This continues to be a problem, honey child, because, you know, at the end of the day, so many people are here that we don't even... Listen, immigration doesn't have a good fix on who these people are and where they are, because people are taking out work permits for them and don't have legitimate jobs for them. This is a problem for more reasons than one. So yeah, the third guy is hard to pin down because something suspicious is going on there. So if you're missing anybody, you know, Jamaican family overseas, your family members haven't messaged you in the last day, you might want to see if that's your cousin, your son, your nephew, somebody. This person says, good morning. It's called karma because the man is married to my classmate and he would abuse her mentally and emotionally because of her size. Yes, he bleaches. Sorry for dialing just now. And then she's posting, of course, I'm so sorry, baby. Listen, she's a pretty girl, Caymanian girl, obviously. And if he didn't want to be with her for her size, then she should have never married this guy. This person says, beautiful black North Side Caymanian woman. Yes, they're partying and having you know what with each other. Oh, the baby's not hers. Oh, I keep telling y'all, please stop lowering yourselves to be in relationships with people who don't really want to be in a relationship with you. They're just looking for a way to stay in the Cayman Islands. And so, you know, that's a problem. So this person says that Kevin Whitaker also goes by Junior. So that, hence the confusion. I can totally see now. He's Kevin Whitaker. That's why people was thinking that it was him, but I can clarify that it's definitely not him. They were drinking at Wilty Drive the night of the accident. All right. So, you know, we have some people here on from the Shamrock community who, you know, are asking questions about what can the police do to slow down these drivers. Here's the problem, though. Let me throw out a little bit of a red herring in this situation, right? This one says, you two lie, he looked Jamaican. Why one big and one skinny? He probably lost weight due to smoking. RCIPS need to do a press conference on major accidents. The article press releases are not preventing accidents. Well, I don't think a press release is going to prevent it either. This is what we're going to talk about next. There's at least 1 to 3 accidents a day. So who is the Caymanian wife? This is Cayman. Everybody enough. You have Whitakers from Jamaica. Caymanian women love Jamaican men. And Jamaican men love Caymanian women, except about 80% of them are only loving you for status. As someone who has a Jamaican husband, let me be very, very clear. Y'all need to make sure that the relationship is genuine. Somebody who's emotionally abusing you and, you know, telling you that you're fat and they don't really want you, but yet they could go out there smashing something else. Raise your standards. I digress. I'm just saying, raise your standards. All right. So you can put in all the speed bumps in the world. Would this have prevented this accident? Roundabouts, would this have prevented this accident? Listen, we're going to do a poll this morning because one of the solutions being suggested by the people who live in Shamrock, who say people are using this as a racetrack, is put speed bumps on Shamrock. Now, Shamrock is a main road. And so I'm going to put up this question here this morning, whether or not you agree that speed bumps should be placed in Shamrock. Now, they say, Sandy, the minister responsible for roads, J.E. Banks, is doing that in Northside. He's going to be adding speed bumps to the main thoroughway there in Northside. Okay. I mean, driving through Northside is still a little bit different than driving on Shamrock. So do you think, this is going to be the question, do you agree with the proposal to install speed bumps on Shamrock? So this would be Spot Straight in that vicinity. I mean, I don't know where the speed bumps would start and end, but this is going to be our poll question of the day. And the most important really point here is it going to solve the problem? Is it going to slow people down and prevent these types of ridiculous accidents from happening? I think the only way to prevent this is you need to get to drivers, right? There's only so many things you can do to try to modify people's behavior before you have to recognize that there's no more modification that can be had. If people are not going to stop drinking and driving, if they're not going to be cautious. Listen, remember last year, I think it was, somebody lost their life down on, was it Marina Drive? That whole Prospect area, I always get them confused. There's Prospect, which one is after Prospect? Marina, and then Mangrove. It was either Marina or Mangrove that a guy lost his life, and that has a speed bump every 2 feet. It's not going to stop reckless drivers. It's not even going to stop people speeding, because have you ever seen somebody speed over a speed bump? And when they're in these low cars, do you see what they do? How they maneuver and try to go sideways and all kind of foolishness that is dangerous to try to get over these speed bumps with as little damage to the undercarriage of their vehicles as possible? I don't know. Like, I mean, I agree that there has to be some discussions about it. They're saying install speed cameras. My point is, will any of this stuff actually be the panacea, the solution that everybody's looking for? All right, so this is a question. This person says the police can't fix stupid. And I mean, unfortunately, I have to agree with you. So here's today's poll question is, do you think installing speed bumps on Shamrock Road is going to be what's going to solve this? I mean, I don't know. So I'm going to share the link. Please go vote in today's poll question. And then I'll put the barcode here up on the screen as well. You can scan the barcode with your smartphones and it'll take you directly to the poll as well. All right, so today's poll question is about speed bumps on Shamrock. One of the things that the Shamrock residents have shared, which I think is unfortunate, is that the response from the authorities has been less than desirable. They're messaging people, they're emailing their MPs, they've emailed the Premier, Miss Juliana, and she's not even acknowledged or recognized their concerns or their correspondence. Very sad, very, very sad. Let me see here now. Stephanie, good morning. She says to stop blaming the roads. It's the people who drive on it, drinking and driving. Lizette says this is very sad. It is. Pablo says tickets Monday to Friday in the morning. And then, of course, people know when police are not going to be there. More police presence, I'm sure, could be helpful. So that's a matter for the traffic department. But do you really think that police can be on the roads 24/7? Gabby says more police presence on the roads, especially weekends and late nights. Okay. But are there enough police officers to cover every single roadway? Now, mind you, Spot Straight has a reputation for being a racetrack, a raceway. In fact, some of these guys would go racing and they would start out at the gas station up the street. They used to do the one Prospect until the road kind of changed. And then that one is a little bit harder to race down, although they still kind of meet there after hours and do stuff. And then they started meeting at Barcam Esso and they were doing the exact same thing. I think Barcam Esso was trying to address that situation with the police because they didn't want them meeting up at their property and being involved in it as well. So Strong Will says, good morning, Sandy. Close down all the bars. Strong Will. Let me make a suggestion here. I'm willing to bet that these people were not at a bar. As the person just said, he was at Will T at his place of residence drinking. So he was at a bar. There's only so much you can do to save people from themselves. If people themselves don't recognize what it is that they need to do to save their own life, if they don't think that their own life is that precious, I mean, what on earth? Right? So closing down the bars, he wasn't at a bar. That doesn't help if it's the boozing boats that people go on, or if you're sitting at home drinking and then decide to go out on the road, give somebody a lift back home or whatever. Stephanie says you can't do anything to fix stupid. Some of them not used to cars, come Cayman, buy a car and drive with a lot of hype, shaking my head. And I don't know who's driving with hype in a Honda Fit, but geez, I'm peace. Seriously, who races a Honda Fit? To me, that just... All right, Debbie says speed cameras. I guess they help after the fact because you'll definitely be able to see what speeds they were going and so on. But a speed camera, in real time isn't going to do much. So the person's still going to crash, still going to have a fiery situation. And afterwards you can go, well, according to the speed camera, yes, he was doing 100 miles per hour. We have a caller. Oops, trying to pick up the call. Good morning, caller.
Morning. First of all, I'd like to say I don't know those people, but my condolences to the family that the accident. But Sandy, with just recently starting to drive here in the UK, you pay more attention to what the rules and the laws are as a driver. And one of the things that I see that what they do here, you have lots of cameras to begin with. Lots of camera, and they do have, surprisingly, I was driving out to the country part going through on a highway a few weeks ago, and there are speed bumps. It blew my mind, but they are speed bumps. So I said to my friend, why are they having speed bumps on these main roads? Because the speed can get up to 40 and 50, but the speed bumps are there. And they said every 100 yards there's a camera, and however distance it is speed bump, because that particular road had caused so many deaths. There were so many deaths on that because it's like 3 miles of just straight road. So for every 50 yards or so, or 100 yards, they have a camera and so forth. And then also they only allow you 2 miles over the speed limit. So if you're going 20, and then when you getting up to that point, if you're going over the speed limit, you see flashes, like how we got home more. You see that home now. I see some of the speed light. Then if you are caught, you whatever that car is registered mail or address that you're getting a ticket.
Mm-hmm.
Now that ticket, it can only be 2 or 3 choices, I think. But the first one, they send your option, or you go to what they call a speeding class.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna pay to take a speeding class. First of all, your license starts with 6 points.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna go and take a speeding class. If you take the speeding class, they don't register the points. But if not, you're gonna pay 100 or up, depending on how fast you were going. Then you're gonna get 3 points onto your license, and you
Mm-hmm.
only have 6 for the whole time, and it stays on your record for 3 years. So for 3 years, your insurance is going to increase by up to 40%. Your insurance will increase. So these are deterrents that I think you're not gonna catch me speeding with that kind of
Mm-hmm.
regulation and deterrent. It's not like you slap your on your hand and give you a chance. There's no chance there. You
Mm-hmm.
you do what is right. So I think we got to do something. If it's a speed bump, they're going to save lives, then maybe put the speed bumps in some of the more areas, even like Peace Bay. Oh my God, when you're home and you're driving on that, the people are crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So you police need to be more in those areas, I would think. And then I don't know, but something really got to be done. It's sad that every day you wake up, you see an accident or a death that is uncalled for, because just follow the rules and drive safely, and if we wouldn't have, it's not bad roads. We got some of the best roads in Cayman.
Mm-hmm.
Comparing Cayman and here, the roads here are terrible. We got some lovely roads. So I don't know if they want the roads to get bad or whatever for them to stop speeding. But anyway, government need to listen to this. We need something done, honestly. Everybody
Mm-hmm.
needs to put heads and hands together. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
take care.
I appreciate it so much. It is a very, very sad situation, and I guess we're all trying to find a solution that is going to work. And so that's my question here this morning: is what is the solution? So a couple questions and comments coming in. So Pablo says after paying a $300 fine each time, 3 or 4 times, drivers will start to think about obeying the laws. But Pablo, you're also assuming that these drivers are going to be caught 3 or 4 times before they're dead. I mean, let's just be very, very clear here. If he's a speed demon and he does it all the time, maybe he would get caught a couple times. If that particular night, for whatever reason, he was speeding and, he's never had a ticket before or anything, I don't know that you can assume that somebody is going to be caught 3 or 4 times before it becomes a, the point of no return, like it's a critical accident. Good morning, caller.
Morning.
Good morning.
I had a guy try to break into my house last night.
Oh, God.
He was absolutely naked.
Wow.
And the cops came, arrested him.
Oh.
And then they let him go because he was somebody that I've not met. It was her father. And they wouldn't arrest him for driving drunk or on drugs.
Oh.
And I put to the police station today because they refused to take my statement last night. That's how much of a police force we have here on the island.
So why did they refuse to take your statement last night?
All they took was my name, my phone number, and that was it. They said come into the station when I wake up in the morning, go back to bed, have a good night, after he tried to break into my house at around 2:30 in the morning.
Wow.
My neighbors came out, my colleague came out from the back, and they basically had somebody drive him home.
Oh my gosh.
It was an awesome night, let me tell you.
That's pretty crazy. Okay. Wow. Okay. So I'm assuming you're going to give a statement and they're going to hopefully arrest this guy.
They probably want to arrest him, but I have to charge him with attempted burglary. I really don't understand, because where I'm from, that guy would have at least spent the night in the jail.
Right.
And somebody would have to go bail him out.
And lock up, yes.
But, yeah. Apparently, it's okay if you self-defend yourself. But if you chase that person out into the middle of the street and defend yourself, that's a different story.
Mm-hmm.
So basically what the police is telling you is to have some kind of weapon with you in your property to protect yourself, because the cops will not do anything for you. It blew my mind what they said.
Will you keep us
Very
updated on
confused.
the outcome of the situation?
Yeah, definitely. I'll send you some messages or whatever, and
Yeah.
let you guys know what's gonna happen.
Wow.
'Cause this is the kind of thing that's gonna happen on the island.
Yeah.
Why are the cops even here? Like, why don't we have the military instead? Right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we don't have a military, but yes. All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you.
All righty. Wow, that's crazy. Oh my gosh. Gareth says, I believe we should do to Shamrock the same way that we did West Bay Road and the East West Arterial, like Esterly Tibbetts Highway. I'm trying to find the follow-up for that because what does that mean exactly? What was done to those roads? Trying to find. He says make spot stretch a connection between the apartments and residents, reduce the speed limit, and more pedestrian friendly like West Bay. You mean, well, that's not the bypass. You mean I'm a little bit confused, Gareth. You're suggesting making it but it's a main road. I mean, right now you ain't got nowhere else to travel up to a certain point. So I'm not quite so sure I follow the logic there. So you're trying to say take it from being a main road to being more of a connector road, but you can't do that until you have some alternatives, I believe. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Sandra. How are you?
Not bad. How you doing?
I'm okay.
Good.
Yeah, just listening to some of your previous callers talking about problem in the Cayman Islands with crime, violence, and all the unlawfulness that's going on.
Well, this morning we're specifically talking about fatalities on our roadways.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Well, let's deal with that. It's good to have speed bumps, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But
so would you support placing a speed bump or speed bumps on Shamrock Road? That's the poll question for the day.
Well, the question is that I'm not too familiar with it, so right now I'm not able to answer that.
Okay.
But if I may, we have more than just the speed bumps. When you're traveling at night and you see these zoom lights coming at you, you're not able to see properly the oncoming traffic. Why don't we not have police in place that they check you or give you a tickets for these bright lights? Some people drive without lights. Some people drive with red lights in the front, blue lights in the front, and it's a multiple problem that we have with these drivers that's into this island.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what I'd like to say also, if we take and look at statistics about who's called, they call them Caymanians or a West Bay man. Indeed, it's not even a West Bay man. He resides in West Bay. I have a big problem. While I may say up front, Caymanians, we're not all good apples, no. But when you see the camouflage that goes on in this island from some of the press releases about a West Bay man, and he was not from West Bay, he's not even a Caymanian. If we dig deeper, we will see that a lot of these problems, in most of these problems, are foreign nationals who come into this island, take their liberty with practically no account to be given. It is high time, in my opinion, that we bring in police from other jurisdictions, not from our Caribbean area, because I will say this, a lot of these people, they think it's just like a big family coming from one island to the next. We need some serious people to come in this island and excuse no one. You must say what it is and take it for what it is and get on with it, because there's too much going on. This little island is practically chewed up and spit out, man. I mean, what's going on here, you know? And then we not have broad shoulders to get up and say, call a spade a spade. I don't want to say this because of this person. Come on, man. You got any balls? You got any guts to say what you think? Other people can come into this country and just talk us down, open their mouth. I can open my mouth big too. And as a rooted Caymanian, I don't have anything against any nationality. All I ask is this: whether you're Caymanian or foreigner, come into this island, please just behave yourself and abide by the rules and regulations. That's all we're asking. If you want to send all your money back home, that's up to you. But just be decent in law abiding in this country. Thank you so much for listening to me, madam.
All right. Thanks very much. I appreciate it. Yes, I mean, I think a lot of Caymanians would agree. And we briefly touched on this before, and it's one of those things where the people that are actually using or issuing the press releases are not Caymanians, so they don't understand they don't understand the distinction and why perhaps Caymanians might be bothered by them saying, oh, a West Bay man, and Caymanians are saying, we're taking that very literally. He's not a West Bay man. He's a person that resides in the district of West Bay. We got 2 callers on the line. Caller number 1 ending in 3325. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Sandy.
How are you?
Nice topic. I want to try to give some suggestions, and I hope that it may help when it comes to controlling speed. First of all, let me say that I've traveled a bit, and the one place that I've traveled that I was impressed with how they control traffic is Cuba. Very big island, 700 miles long, and lots of roads, lots of places to speed. But let me tell you, at least every 20 miles, they have a tower, speed tower. In the tower is a police. Down below, there's a motorcycle and a car, and one police on either side of the road with radios. And they work on shifts. Any high crime, any area that would be potentially for speeders, they don't stand a chance. Because every so much distance, they are there. And if you get away from this one, the other one want to stop you. What we need on our spot street is a tower, specifically for traffic. And it have to be operated by shift. That means at all times someone is in that tower with a police car and a motorcycle if necessary. Any straight Queens Highway could take 2 of them. Or straight could do it one. I can't think of any other place that have a real stretch of road where people like to race. But yeah, that's just basically.
But can you let me ask you a question, right? The police are saying that
the police too comfortable to begin with. Go ahead.
They are saying that they're a bit they don't have enough staff, so they're already saying this, right?
Well, hello, hire more.
That takes
get more people.
That takes money
and
that they
pay
have
them
to
well.
get.
Especially Caymanas. Get some Caymanas and put there. That would like to increase government revenue. But I'm sure they can get a lot or save lives somehow.
Instead of having man towers, like individually man towers, why can't we use technology? That's where the speed cameras obviously come in. The NRA has
technology
installed.
Technology is in the head. Technology starts in your brain.
Yes, but
and some people don't have any.
Well, that's for sure. But the NRA has already installed one of those overpass things on the east-west arterial, and some of the things that they can actually put up there include the speeding cameras. So does that mean that every roadway needs to have one of those to try to control speeders?
We need a tower where a police is up there with his camera and a police car below. He can see the speeder coming, and the driver will be ready to stop him at somehow or chase him or radio the other vehicles in the front and say, this guy is speeding here, stop him. It can work for many other things besides speeding. You understand? This island is so small. Why can't it be controlled?
Well, that's good.
Look at how, when I think about the size of Cuba, right? When I think about the size of Cuba and see how they control traffic over there, and I mean everything else, I'm impressed. It's a big stuff, 700 miles long. Look at us, 22 miles long, and so much problem and nothing can be solved, seem like.
Well, this person says
I think the powers that be is too comfortable.
Yeah, this person says Cuba Speed Tower They say that's laughable. I passed them and was stopped 3 times. I gave them $20 and went on my way.
At least they stop you. But who stops who out here? I'm a taxi driver and I see some stuff every day. Let me tell you, they be in and out, in and out. I don't want to say anything about nationality, but these little Honda Fits, they're everywhere and they just in and out of traffic. Just going like crazy. Where are they going all the speed? I mean, Cayman is so small.
Yes. All right, caller. Thank you
it
so much.
boggles my mind to see what's going on and nobody to stop them. You don't see a police tell some big accident happen. Prevent is better than cure. I mean,
that's for sure.
God. Wow.
Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate it.
Have a good day, babe.
You too. All right, darling. All right, next caller. Good morning. Welcome to the program.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, morning. What's your solution, do you think?
I was thinking if we're gonna put speed bumps on the road, you know, like how they put they painted the speed limits now on certain parts of the road.
Hold on.
Why
One quick second for me, call. I'm just gonna merge the other call. Okay. Yeah, so where they've started, yes, we showed that a couple weeks ago. They were painting the speeds on the actual roadway itself.
Why don't they put the speed bumps that are close there?
Okay.
I mean, just to kind of, break the speed. And another comment I wanted to make, not to this gentleman who just called, but the previous one who was talking about the high beams. Sandra, I hate driving at night now because everybody driving with these high beams, and when those high beams are in your face, you can't see anything, right? And I've seen videos on YouTube of people who kill people on the road because not because they were drunk or anything, but just because you have these high beams in your face and you can't see anything, right? For me, I get to the point now where when them high beams in my eye, I stop and I wait for the people to pass. I mean, it annoys people who are behind me, but I don't know what's in front of me and I don't want to hit nobody. So I think something also needs to be done with. I mean, that's not the topic today. That's just an aside, but I just wanted to, support what that other man was saying.
All right. Thank you so much, caller. Appreciate it. All right. We've got multiple callers. Let me see who's up next. So we have, 1 second here. Oh, trying to merge the call, but all right. We've got caller ending in 4125.
Yes, Sandra.
Hi, morning.
Sandra.
Hi.
Okay. I called in a week ago. I called yesterday. And you remember me telling you in the morning time when me and my wife going to work at 6 o'clock, how these Honda Fits and these Audis, and I don't know where the guys work, if they work in construction, if they're late, or they need to pick up someone in West Bay, because we coming from way up Shamrock Road, and the people that's driving crazy. And I could support that caller a while ago about high beam lights. What these guys is doing is even selling the LED bulbs all over the place, and they're changing them and putting them in the light. Now, I remember one time ago when the cars would go and get lights, and once that car not shining on the left and the shining on the right, they make you change your headlight. Now they don't do nothing like that. So these bunch of guys that selling these bulbs for $8 or $5 a bulb, you can go certain gas stations and buy them. It's ridiculous. The police is blinding people at night. You got the citizens that want to come out at night and go to supermarkets. They even want to drive. I support that caller just a minute. It's 100%. And these guys that doing it is ridiculous. Because I don't know why. You can blink your lights at them. You can blink your lights at them, and they don't even turn it down to the low beam. They're keeping them because they can't adjust them. It's ridiculous. The police got to do something with that. And yellow lights and lights on each car and all kind of foolishness. Look like spaceship coming down the road. Well, anyway, this is what I got to say. I called you last week, I think it was. And I told you, before someone get hurt, or before they hurt themselves or kill themselves, something was going to happen soon. And you see me, I'm a God-fearing person. We should be all God-fearing in this island. Because with the things that going on in our lives now, it do make no sense. Speeding bumps look like you can fly over them doing 100 and your car still going good. Because they got them in Prospect. People is still flying over them. It doesn't really matter how much speed bumps you put in the road. You would have to do a 45 speed bump. If they do go real slow, it would chop the tire in two. You understand? But
So
they're making them so nice and big.
You don't think that the speed bumps is going to be helpful?
No, not the way NRA, not the way Island Paving making them. They must be just doing it for their own personal use. I can tell you that. And people with boats, affecting people with boats and all this kind of stuff with trailers. They need to put like a 45 speed bumps to teach these little young guys and these guys that driving these cars fast before they run in somebody's house or before they kill somebody.
And they've done, to be clear, they've done all of that before.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, understand why they can put a nice speed bump over the road and you can still do over the speed limit in that road. It shouldn't. And they can put them close as they want together. It always a next 200 feet that they can punch down and go again. They can run in somebody's house and they can hurt somebody. I see it coming and I've been saying it. Me and my wife, in the morning we come into work. It's ridiculous. I don't know why these police can't get off of their little butts and come down by Hurley's roundabout or somewhere and lodge and see these speeders coming. They're ridiculous. But shift changing, everybody have a shift to go to. That shouldn't be no excuse with the amount of police that we have. And I don't want to hear nothing, but not got enough traffic cops. Everybody is trained to catch someone doing something bad. But I bet you what they're waiting on though. That end of month pay though. They like that. They like that CI dollar, burn their hand, and they can send it off. Huh? Well, anyway, this is what I gotta say. It's ridiculous. And someone can get hurt if they don't take a stand for this thing. Because it's not right what's going on our road and in our country. And like I said, yesterday, that lady would support her about certain nationalities being rude to people at workplaces. We got them. But you know me, I'm only one person. I wish I was 10. I would be around a lot of places. And next thing too, with this pension and insurance, a lot of places not paying, do have out and do pay the people insurance, but you're going to make money for the company so you can get rich. And they're not paying no pension. I want a task force to go around every job site and make sure they're paying pension for their workers, construction, everything. Because you got them out there that not doing it. You have them out there that not doing it. And it's so ridiculous for you to work so hard and talk about pension. By the time your pension go in the little school, the group of pension, they're using it for other things. But anyway, that's what I got to say.
Thank you so much,
God bless everyone that takes care of themselves and think good. Because these are days you can't think weak.
Thank you so much,
have
Colin.
a wonderful day, Sandra.
You too.
You
All right,
too.
darling. Appreciate it.
Bye.
Folks, I see some of y'all going back and forth in the comment section, getting a bit up in your feelings. I would suggest you just relax. All right, next caller up. Good morning, caller.
Sandra.
Yes, morning, dear.
This DD, you remember the young man that called me about the guy tried to rob him or something in the night?
Yes.
I give you a better one.
Say that again,
white
sorry.
Man. I said I give you a better story.
Oh gosh.
A white man. I live in Frank Sound, Stepping Stone. Come and assault my wife on her patio. And I come in my house and ask what he's doing in my house, in my yard.
Hold on 1 second for me. So you said he assaulted your wife?
Assaulted my wife on her patio. He come through 2 gates.
Okay.
I come out of the house and ask him what he's doing in my yard. And he said, who the F you is? So all I did was take my little girl's scooter handle and break him up. I break up in jawbone, in ribs, and break in leg.
What?
And you know they call me in court for assaulting him in my yard.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yes, and this DD.
Oh my God! Wow.
But I tell the judge,
Mm-hmm.
if anything happen like that again,
Mm-hmm.
church and Barton funeral and deal with them. So I tell the judge if it's my brother Christopher Andrew Dixon from after it, that's what he gonna pick up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So what happened with the outcome of the case?
Then I charge me and put suspended sentence on me about for 30 years or something.
Oh my God.
Charge me about $2,000.
What a mess.
But it gonna happen again, like I tell the judge Sunday. It gonna happen again. The police come charge me, Sandra.
Yes, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm. But the paramedics say, and the police tell me that he not come back now. What I done him? I said, sure, he gonna come back on and let him encourage him. He gonna come back. Him or somebody else.
My God. Thank you, caller.
But Sunday, I waiting on him patiently. All I heard did my son the other day. I waiting on him patiently.
Thank you, my dear. What a mess.
All right, family.
Well, you can hear some mess around these parts. We got another caller in the line. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Morning, dear. How are you?
All right.
Your thoughts or comments this morning?
Yes, about the putting speed bump on the highway.
Yes. What do you think about that?
It's not a good idea.
Not a good idea?
No.
Okay.
When the ambulance is respond to an emergency, or the fire truck is respond to an emergency, it's not for a fire truck with loaded liquid respond to an emergency. It's not going to work out.
Well, say that again. Because of what?
The fire truck is respond to an emergency with.
Oh, fire trucks. Oh, somebody did mention that actually in the comment section as well. They said, what about when other people have to use it? And yeah, okay.
Yes, if a fire truck is respond to an emergency with thousands of gallons of water in the truck or ambulance, then have a problem. So what you do is use CCTV camera.
Yeah, there seems to be a big number of people supporting cameras. So so far, let me just check the poll on the speed bumps. It doesn't seem like that's a popular idea. 83% so far say no to the speed bumps. But a lot of people in the comment section are saying, let's consider the cameras instead. Well,
Yes,
what do you think about the one caller's idea of having it manned manually, like having manpower up in a tower? He said that he sees that working in Cuba.
I don't know about that. But I can tell you, because I can speak about what I know and what I've used. Because I have evidence that it works, so I can speak about what I know and I use. And I can speak about what I know and I've done for myself. In the past, CCTV cameras assisted me in giving evidence in court.
Yeah, and that's a good point as well, caller, because sometimes something might happen and you need an independent set of eyes, right? And of course, a CCTV camera definitely would allow that. Thank you so much. Yes, sir.
When I heard about this fatal accident a couple of days ago, my heart grieved. It brought tears to my eyes because I've done 2, but I've never done 3. Oh, my heart.
Wow. Very sad. Thank you so much, caller.
But I tell you,
yes,
it's best to get CCTV camera because you can use distance and time and tell the speed that the cars were going. And so easy to do that. And you have guys there that can do it. The guys there that it can easily be done.
Okay.
And no problem. If they need assistance, they can call and I can assist them.
Thank you, caller. Appreciate it. Have a good day.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
All right. Strong Will says Sandy Red Bay's crazy. No speed bumps. It's like a racetrack. Where's Alden? I have a friend of mine tried to get in contact with Alden. He's not even answering his phone, but I know election time is coming. Well, if I had the answer to that question, I might be a very rich woman, because that probably means I got my little globe, my little ball that can see everything. Caller, good morning.
Yeah, hello, good morning, Sandra. How you doing?
Not bad. How are you?
Come on. This talk about speed bumps on a main arterial road is just ludicrous. First of all, you're going to be punishing everybody for the actions of those who are using the road as a speedway. Okay, and instead of punishing the public for the actions of a relative few when it comes to the nighttime racing, or the racing, or the bad driving in the morning rush hours, or any other time, is to have the necessary presence of police. Now, the gentleman talking about Cuba and towers, listen, we don't need towers, but if you're going to stop the people who are on a regular basis utilizing the road as a raceway, you have one set of police on one end of a straightaway. You have another set of police on the other end. They need to be in communication with each other. The people on the entrance side contact the police on the other side. Okay, this guy's coming up and he's way over the speed limit. There's something called a spike strip, which I don't know why they can't bring into Cayman, particularly when you have somebody running away from the police. Have the coordination within the department themselves to stop something before you have a fatal accident. The spike strips work. They're used in the United States of America well to stop dangerous situations from going further. Cayman could be doing that. But when it comes to the Fast and the Furious crowd who like to link up down there at Barkham or whatever, once again, you block them off, pretend you're a blooming cowboy, all right? You block off, you have police on one end of it, you have police on the other end of it, then you slowly tighten the noose, and you take all the women into custody. If you really want to do something about that part of the problem, if you want to do something about the part of the problem on Shamrock Road in the morning, you have police on the road on one end and on the other, and you noose them, you corral them. That's what you have to do. You don't need a tower. You don't need to make everybody's life hell putting a blasted speed bump every 200 yards. And the only people who gonna benefit from that is the people who sell shocks. For the here in Cayman, there are things that could be done, can be done, but are not being done. Whether that is complicity, whether that is laziness, whether that is cowardice, not being willing to deal with the people creating the problems themselves. We could talk about that all day long. But the solutions are there to be had. When it comes to spot straightaway, for instance, okay, everywhere from down by Caswell Drive all the way down to where the Thomason roundabout is, you have two sets of police in contact and coordination with each other. If somebody is seen to be driving dangerously, you have the police further down the road, stop them. You supply them with the spike strips, and those spike strips do not need to cost $1 million in the Cayman Islands when they cost $1,000 in the States. Because we are paying tons and tons of money to law enforcement in Cayman, and we are not getting value for money spent. It really is anarchy. That's what we're dealing with. We need to look at who is responsible for allowing that anarchy. We need to look also at this simple fact. It is a tragedy that these three young people passed away. Okay? But I do not have the same level of sympathy for people who are driving 100+ miles an hour down the road, okay, endangering everybody. The people who I really have sympathy for is the innocent victim who gets slammed into when people have such little concern that they would go down a road, a congested road, Treating it as an illegal racetrack. Look, if you want to treat the road as a racetrack and it's empty, you pay your penny and you take the chances. If you turn into a barbecue as a result of you taking those chances, I'm sorry it happened to you, but that's the decision you made. The ones who need to have sympathy for are the innocent victims who might get hurt or killed as a result of those people. So the people who are creating the problems are the ones who need to be dealt with, not the general public, first of all.
Yes.
I think that needs to be said. And it sounds harsh, but it is a fact. Anyway.
All right. Thank you very much, caller. I appreciate
y'all
it.
have a great day.
Thank
Bye
you so
now.
much. All right. Nikki and some others are in the comment section. Nikki says that that's her nephew. Condolences, Nikki, on the loss of your nephew. I mean, obviously, this is a very sad situation. Does anybody, Nikki, maybe you guys can help the police solve this mystery and the community solve this mystery? Who was the third person in the vehicle? Some people in the comment section, they're saying that he had his sister or something in the vehicle with him as well. So it's 2 women and 1 guy. Do you have any idea, Nikki, who the third person was? Because this is very, very strange that 3 people have died, but we've only really been able to identify 1 person. So, lots of suggestions here. I think by and large, a lot of people are saying that speed bumps are not going to be the solution. Nikki says speed bump is not permitted on the main road. I think the law has to be changed for that. I think. So the argument that the community is making is that the minister responsible for this area, Mr. J. Ebanks, is actually putting them in for his community in North Side. So they're saying that what's the difference? That's a main road as well. I think there is a difference between Shamrock, though, to be quite fair, and between Shamrock and, North Side Road. Yes, they're both main roads, but still a little bit different. Luna says half of them can't see their license plate because they're covered. Good morning to Mr. Rennie. Says speed cameras at areas no speeding and heavy fines in the mail will reduce speeding. Good morning, Miss Kathy. So good to see you. Elaine says don't drink and drive. That's also a very simple solution, because at the end of the day, people have to take accountability for their own actions. Somebody actually said that. They said, heaven forbid that we require road users to take some accountability. Good morning, caller. Hello, caller.
Good morning.
Morning.
It's simple now. The people just need to stop being crazy.
Yeah.
Driving on the road. The second thing, right? What the police could do, they park 1 car on the side of the road with the lights on. Simple. Killer like man did.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, dear. And we have another caller on the line here. Caller, can you hear me? Hello, caller? Okay, I can't hear you. Maybe try calling back. Good morning, Paul. Says an alternative to speed bumps is rumble strips, but unfortunately, it looks like the horse has already been let out of the stable in regards to driving habits on the island. Speaking of driving habits, some people are saying, listen, Sandy, you need to be honest with the people about who it is that are the worst drivers in Cayman. So Mr. Mowbray DaCosta said deportation off these islands will be the only thing that will work. Shaka Zulu says, here's a draconian measure to implement. Lobby the government to implement a speed governor in all cars imported into the jurisdiction. Vehicles can be governed to limit speeds. So that's interesting. And then says in U.S. cars, all have a governor in them that limits speed to 133 miles per hour, as opposed to European cars not having a governor on board. All American cars have a governor? That's news to me. Good morning, caller.
Yes, good morning, Sandra.
Morning.
Yeah, calling about your car issues and the accidents and stuff. First of all, I believe it starts from educating the people about driving. We need a driver's ed. I mean, but that still don't help the expats who come here and are forced to drive that have never even driven in their own country. and also that. So we need a driver ed for them also.
Yes.
And I've checked around on the world page. I've been around certain countries. I've never ever in my life seen a speed bump on a main road. No way in the world, because that's going to deny access for emergency vehicles. It doesn't make sense. And then if you're telling me that they're making it in North Side, I feel sorry for them if they have an emergency where somebody is ill and they have to go slow down because of those speed bumps. That don't make sense. I believe they do like the States and Europe and the States put in these bird boxes. A bird box is like a hidden camera that if you go in a million miles an hour, this can flash you a picture of you and your license plate, your speed, and send it to your mail. They come out to pay these penalties. And what they need to do, increase the penalties then. Nobody wants to lose their pocket change, So you increase the penalties of these speeding and these crazy driving people, it would be better, more. And also, we have a lot of police here for this small jurisdiction, so we can have more police presence also. I think a good corpus of the government first goes to them, for the vehicles that they have all the time, become utilize them now. You know what I mean? We know where all these bad driving habits are taking place and the time. So why they can't stop it? Why? Because they don't have a job if they stop it. But they need to. And it's simple. Cayman is only 76 square miles. And we have over 400 or 500 police officers. I know the police can't be everywhere every time, but I think they could do a way better job than what they're doing now. Yeah, so raise the fines, educate the people about driver's ed, and no speed bumps in the main road. And I think that would be the solution to it, or part of the solution. Because you can always have people who are going to be the rogue ones to do things crazy their own way. And like I tell them, there's nobody in the world who is free or liberated to do what is good. Yeah, we can't go over the liberation. We're not free. But if everybody were free, we would have chaos. Because you imagine if some people were free and they could do whatever they want to do. Imagine the other people who don't have that kind of freedom. What will happen to them? So we have to know that we're only liberated to follow the rules. You know what I mean? Cayman, like I say, if you want a race to go East End, it don't make sense. Because, like back in the 70s, 80s, when we would have had like maybe 20, 30 cars. We have more cars than we have people here at the moment. If you ask me, because it is very outrageous, because I don't understand the government don't fix a national transportation system all now. Because look at what's going on. We're forcing everybody who come here to drive. I've known people tell me, look, they would never want to own a car in their whole life, but came and made them own a car because they don't want the liability of the car, saying the license, the insurance, the maintenance, the upkeep, gas, and all that. It's cheaper for them to take a bus. But we don't give them that option.
I mean, I guess, and I mean, to be quite honest, there are some people who are not doing the maintenance on the vehicles. They just drive them however they feel. So there's also that, right? But thank you, caller. I appreciate it.
Thank you, too.
All right, Shaka Zulu, thank you for that comment. And Maury says speed bumps on a main road does not make any sense. One idea is to put more signage on the straight roads, reduce speed, save lives, etc. Something like that. The problem, I think, Maury, is I'm not sure that the people that signage is directed at are even reading these signs. Marshall says, I have no sympathy for lawbreakers. It could be my own family. Stop the damn drinking and driving and speeding. Diamond Princess says, when they're doing their driving test, they follow the rules. When they get the license, they drive how they feel like driving. And if they continue to drive how they're taught to drive, we will have fewer accidents. Well, I mean, Diamond Princess, I think there's a difference between how they're taught to drive and what they did to get the driver's license. Because to be very, very clear, how you're taught to drive is in your experience, what you've been doing. When you go to do your driver's test, you're obviously on your best possible behavior in order to just get that driver's license. Then you go back to doing what you always do, which based on the number of accidents that we see on our roadways, one pile of slackness and carelessness all over the place. Lizette says that drivers need to take responsibility to maintain their speed limits. Speed bumps should not be an option, says Sandra. In fact, we need to have a look at these roundabouts. With a view to switch to stoplights. Natasha, good morning. Natasha says, I've watched from last Thursday of the dirt biker who's been wheeling and weaving in and out of traffic. That's a whole other situation that the police seem to be struggling with. But you know, Natasha, these young guys with these bikes, once again, they've got family members who know exactly who they are. They're storing the bikes in their homes, and their family members are certainly not reporting them to the authorities and not taking these bikes away from them. They're allowing them to use it. And then when they get hit on the roadway, run into a car, whatever, you know, everybody's crying and all upset about, look at what happened to my family member. When these young guys are, you know, really doing the most out there in these streets, and it's only a matter of time before they have an accident. Siobhan says you can teach people how to drive, but people going to still speed and drink and drive and don't know why they don't stop. Anthony says speed bumps on North Side Road is foolishness. These people living in Rum Point deserve the same rapid response as any other citizen. For emergency systems, North Side is a water sports zone. How will we put speed bumps on that road? What will happen when there's a water sports emergency and he will get the government sued? I'm sure the minister must be listening this morning, or somebody connected to Northside is listening, and they can certainly tell the minister of your comments. Al says speed bumps only good for BMX bikes, a good ramp to jump. What a mess. Morning, Miss Sue. Andrea says police needs to be on the road more. Simple as that. Christina says, my brother, mommy, one son, and her only brother. Christina, I'm so sorry for your loss. I saw some other family members, Melissa, also saying that that was her brother, Junior Whitaker. So we extend our condolences to you guys on the loss of your brother. Very, very sad situation. But again, we have to acknowledge from eyewitnesses and what they've said that there was speeding involved here. And I mean, I don't know what the toxicology report will find because of the extent of the damage to the bodies. Unfortunately, you know, there might be some difficulty with that sort of thing. Catherine Wells, good morning, Catherine. It says, while we want speeders to stop speeding on Shamrock Road, on the one hand, putting speed bumps there will serve their purpose. But on the other hand, they would create a hazard for the fire trucks and ambulances rushing to emergencies and other heavy load carrying vehicles. It could cause them to flip and cause more accidents if they forget they're there or cannot slow down in time before they reach them. I don't think more obstacles should be created for emergency services. More police presence, she's suggesting, is the answer. Debbie's saying that we need to vote smart. Barbara says we definitely need speed bumps entering each district, especially East End, where they think there's an open road for racing as well. Galaxy Crest says, good for you, Dee Dee. A good dose of reality for him to show up in your yard. Oh, yes, Dee Dee was saying some man had come in her yard as well. It looks like she was ready for him. Debbie Kirkernel says the speeding on Shamrock Road has been ignored for far too long. I hope this is going to be addressed immediately. I think we did this one from Gareth already. Yes. CJW says make a choice between keeping or losing lives or close all alcohol departments. That's the only way it will stop. Well, that's not going to stop it, CJW. Closing all government departments, people are going to drink at home. I mean, you saw what prohibition did. It didn't stop a thing when it came to alcohol consumption. People are still going to... Listen, you got to educate people. Like, all of this comes down to you got bad drivers on the roadway who are taking unnecessary risk. Galaxy says if you look at the data, particularly of the accidents that resulted in death, you will see that the majority have been Jamaican, particularly men. The correlation and causation cannot be ignored. I don't know that we keep any data based on, my apologies, based on nationality. So, I mean, we can ask the NRA, but I doubt, or the police, I doubt they're keeping data based on that. Just thinking off the top of my head, gosh, I'd have to think about it because honestly, there are so many accidents that I can't even think now. But okay, the last 2 fatalities have been where? Okay, let me think about this. All right, hold on. There was the one on the Esterly Tibbets. That was 2 Jamaican men. 1 died. This one seems like probably 3 Jamaican nationals. In March, we had 2 fatalities in 2 days. I'm trying to remember where this was. So there was the one in Cayman Brac. So that wasn't a Jamaican. That was a Spanish lady. And then there was one in Bodden Town, and that was a Jamaican man. Okay, so that was March. What about when was the one Easterly Tibbets? Was that in February? Let me see. Just trying to think of the ones that we've had this year. Who else? What other ones have we had this year? So, I mean, on the one hand, we also have more Jamaicans here than any other foreign nationalities. So it could just be sheer numbers that there's more Jamaicans on the roadway. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Sandra. Just to say, I don't support putting speed bumps on a main thoroughfare.
Mm-hmm.
However, years ago, the police used to put up signs, just little fake signs kind of thing, saying radar up ahead, park a police car. And it's amazing that you would see the brake lights of people when they saw those signs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's an easy solution for speeding. And not only in the day, because people really don't, well, not saying they don't speed in the day, but they should do it at night as well.
Mm-hmm.
And alternate, where sometimes it's fake, but sometimes there's an officer up the street.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like decoys.
Mm.
And like I say, it does work. I mean, they used to do it years ago, especially in the Eastern District. And, you know, I would see them off and on. And the minute people see them, you see brake lights. You see them putting on their brake lights because they believe there's a speed trap up ahead.
Okay. That was like a little post. That was a little poster with the fake police officer and the handgun thing.
Well, no, it was placards, and occasionally they would have just an empty police car.
Oh,
just parked there.
Okay.
And yeah, like I said, it's a decoy, and then you alternate. There are times when there's really no police there, so it is acting as a decoy. And then there's other times the sign is there, and there's also a policeman or a police traffic car up ahead as well. So it means that you won't be complacent because you're not sure when there really will be an officer there.
Right.
And that's a cheap solution.
Yes.
That we don't have to spend a lot of money on.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much, caller.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. We've got another caller on the line. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, honey child. How are you?
Good morning. Not bad. How are you?
Please stop by my house and collect your goodies.
Oh, we got mangoes ready.
Look at your phone, you'll see.
Oh my gosh, we got mangoes today. Oh, thank you so much, honey Jill. I appreciate it.
Okay, later.
All right, bye. Yes, that will be my first stop today. Mango season, salt and pepper, vinegar. Pull out the vinegar. Oh, thank you. Oh my gosh, they look so good. Yummy, yummy. Come get them today. Call when you're on your way. Oh my gosh, they look beautiful. Thank you, honey child. You just made my day. Praise the Lord for mangoes. All right. Gabby says they need to put speed limits on buying beers. Like you can't buy beers around 9 to 10 at night and on weekends. Listen, I don't even drink, but I can tell you that this is not gonna work. That not gonna work, y'all. That not gonna work. I'm sorry, that not gonna work. They're not working. People can stock up beers at their houses. They can. Y'all looking at the wrong things. Good morning, caller.
Sandra.
Yes. Hello. Good morning, sir.
Yes, madam. You know, I was just thinking what I know that happened in other countries about the speeding.
Yes.
They got a certain amount of like dummy car. It's a real car, but it's not manned. Okay, and they put them so much difference apart, and then what they do, the real police come in sometimes and then take away the old car, so you don't know which day that the police is going. So it puts you always in suspense of being cautious, because you see the car there today, it's a car that there's no police in it. But or you see another car that is the real police, okay? It reminds me of what I seen a man had up in his property. He said, this property is guarded 4 days a week. You guess which 4 days they are.
Yes,
You know,
sir.
so
Yeah. I get you.
Just get a load of cars, well, not a load, but several
What are you
cars.
thinking? There's quite a few people saying banning somebody else's ban alcohol. Do you think that's going to be solving the problem?
Banning the alcohol?
Yes.
I got reservations about it, because while I don't drink, you got some responsible drivers. But
yeah, that's punishing everybody. I mean, listen, you shouldn't be drinking and driving, regardless, to be very, very clear. But banning alcohol is, I mean, say 50% of the accidents are caused by alcohol and 50% caused by speeding. So you ban the alcohol, and then you're going to do what? Ban cars? Like, I don't know. I don't drink, but so We Are says alcohol should be permanently banned. I don't think that's going to probably solve much of anything.
No, then they go to something else. You know.
Yeah,
So
I mean, people just, we've got to find a way to make people responsible. So speeding cameras, I think, are certainly useful. More police presence.
Thank you, too.
All right, this person says revoke work permits for careless driving. Yes, I mean, certainly if they get caught, that could be on the table, I suppose. Somebody's upset about me and my mangoes. Sorry. Y'all know I love me some turned mangoes. Look at those beautiful mangoes. Somebody gave me some mangoes recently and they were too ripe. I do not eat ripe mangoes. Sorry. This now, you see how these are? This is perfect. Ooh, honey child, I'm going to wash those off and peel those. They're going to be nice and yellow on the inside. Put a little bit of seasoned salt and pepper. Good morning, caller.
Good morning. You know, sometimes I really can't take you. Imagine how you describing that. Listen to me now, man. Sometimes I just can't take you.
Trust me. And you know, when I start eating them, listen, I can tell y'all a little secret now about me and my mangoes, right? I love turned mangoes so much that I used to have these two dogs that I would sit there and I would be just loving the turned mango. They would come and look at me like, why are you so, this is so good. And they started to beg for turned mangoes and I would give it to them and they loved it. My two dogs, Oscar and Rupert, they would sit there and eat turned mangoes all day with me. We used to be in mango heaven. Oh my goodness. I digress. But yes, I do love a turned mango.
Oh my goodness. That's that Caymanian thing, girl. Right?
Yes, right?
Listen, just a quick note. You know those speeding cameras that are, or the speeding things that the NRA set up?
Yeah.
You know that they actually do record, but it's because they haven't put them on record.
Well, I think they were waiting on legislation, which I don't know what, because when they read it, they can pass legislation in 2 twos. And then other legislation takes forever.
Exactly. This is what I was, but we say the politics games.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. I think we gotta stop as the locals burying our heads in the sand and try to like have a bit more cojones, as that gentleman there from West Bay said this morning. In regards to certain things, despite what it is that they might want to say to us and try to cover us down, we have to stand up a little bit more and open those big mouths where we go in the right areas and in the right time. Like, for example, this thing in regards to traffic. Oh, Miss Sandy, you're coming from, I reside in North Side, so of course, you know, we have to home approximately 5:15 in the morning to beat the traffic. And darling, I would suggest to the police officers, I know y'all are listening, y'all gotta be on Shamrock Road a little bit more. Y'all can let me tell you something, y'all can increase the coffers. Maybe y'all can get a if you do that.
I mean, they did return the traffic division, thank God, because I remember when they took that away, I don't know what that was all about. But yeah, what a mess.
Wow, girl.
What are your thoughts on prohibition?
Prohibition?
Yeah, they're saying ban the alcohol.
That ain't gonna work. Me and you know that. That ain't gonna work. What we need is for the police officers to be up there. And let me tell you something, a few months, and I'm quite sure it's not everybody's going to be deterred, but I'm guarantee you it's going to slow down. It's crazy. You see, so, and especially let me not go there about the 150. Sandy, darling, enjoy your mango.
Thank you, honey child. I appreciate it. Yeah, those Honda Fits are the bane of our existence. I mean, but again, it's sheer numbers because there are so many of them on the roadway because they're cheap and easy to get. And, you know, it is what it is. Everybody driving one.
Yep. I mean, it is what it is, darling. Love you. Have a good one.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Blackberry says alcohol is banned in prison, but prisoners find a way to make their own. Come on now. Yeah, I don't think prohibition is gonna be the solution. Miss Marion says, I think speed bumps could help somewhat. I don't like them, but they do slow one down. But the question is, Miss Marion, please vote in the poll, by the way, if you haven't already. All right. So the question really, Miss Marion, is putting it on a main road. Do you support that? And this is our poll here. So make sure you vote in the poll. So far, 81% say no, they do not agree with the proposal to install speed bumps on Shamrock Road. So Miss Miriam, if you haven't voted, scan that little QR code. Alternatively, we put a link in there, or you can go to slido.com. And let me see, this thing is always in the way. And you can put in this number, and this will, hold on. I know it's being covered, so I'm just going to paste the number here. So the number is 3563649, and you can vote there as well. Shaka Zulu says Cayman will never become a dry state. That's wishful thinking, folks. That's prohibition. Never worked in the US of A and can't work in Cayman. Can't see it working in Cayman. Miss Aline says, Sandy, I love turned mangoes too. Not too right. I just grab my salt, my knife, and plate and shut out the world. You do it with only salt? Ooh, I at least need a little bit of pepper. Salt, pepper. I do seasoned salt most of the time. Salt, pepper, and if I'm adventurous, I'm going to throw the vinegar in there too and make it a proper sauce. The Spanish people have really been going all out with the mangoes when you go to Miami now. A lot of the malls have the little mango kiosk. Mango Media. They have 305. Is it 305 mango? And they put all kind of stuff. Listen, they have opened up my eyes to a whole new world of what you could do with mangoes, because they got all kind of different seasoning. I tried it with condensed milk once, because at first I was like, condensed milk and then like hot pepper salt, mango salt. I'm like, But honey child, I tried it and it's actually really good. I wouldn't do it often, but I'm like, wow, that's pretty good. So them Spanish people got 1 million. They got 1 million sauces laid out. You know what I would do? I need to start a new business. I need to do the little Mango Mania cart for the next festival that we have. What if I could buy a cart and then get all the different sauces, because you can pick what you want. You can put this in, that in, hot pepper, mix it all up. That's a good business idea, you know. Shaka Zulu says prohibition caused the rise of things, folks like Al Capone. Anthony says alcohol and cigarettes is the third biggest tax producers for the government, 100% tax. They're very talented in there. They make ice and sell it to the Eskimos, says Miss Elaine, in prison. The caller's right about the recording feature in those bird box cameras. Yeah, I think it was something to do with the legislation, which they just need to get done. Good morning, Mr. Paul. How are you? Says display those wrecked cars and roundabouts and bypass mediums. Maybe it'd make an impact. Food for thought. Not only that, Mr. Paul, but I have also seen, especially in driver's ed, when I did driver's ed way back in the day, I was 16 years old. And boy, I can tell you what, they scared the bejeebers out of me with like the pictures and videos that they showed you of mangled bodies and car accidents. And yeah, it was not a pretty sight. Like, oh my God. Made you scared when you went on the road where you were like, look, granny. I was holding that wheel with both hands, like, oh my God. Check my mirrors, check my side mirrors, my front mirror. Always looking, always indicate. Now listen, as we start to wrap up here, somebody says, drive like a woman. French road safety campaign tells men. Now, I know y'all don't want to believe this, but women tend to be much better drivers than men as a whole. Women tend to follow the road rules more, and they tend to be a lot safer. So not to say that, you know, you don't have accidents with them as well. So this person says, issues concerning accidents, road race culture, easier access to cheap power. It's easy to get a powerful, albeit only fast car from Japan. Most of these accidents are being caused by expats who've never owned or drove a car until they got here. A driving test appears to be too easy. People who drive here for months without obtaining a local license. There's an issue. The issue is compounded when they can easily buy their driver's license where they're coming from. Solutions, media campaign, address these issues more thoroughly initially at the point, driving tests, police to step up monitoring and speed traps, etc. Introducing a point system for Caymanians. Too many points, revoke work permits. Let me see here now. The good thing about the cameras is there's no human contact to give any driver warnings and take bribes, just to see other ways to slow down traffic. Thank you so much for that, caller. This person says, sharing with you, this was caused by speeding and alcohol. So, oh yes, this was back in 1985. Thank you so much. Somebody else shared this with me. Let me just share this throwback moment from 1985. Oh my gosh. I was a kid at the time. But remember this accident? I actually wasn't living in Cayman. I was in the States. 5 die in Spot's crash. So that Spot's Strait has been a bane of our existence for a really, 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 really long time. And there have been a lot of horrific accidents at that location. All right, we've got some breaking news. 4 Cubans have landed at Spot Bay this morning at 6:30 a.m. What a hot mess. What a mess. They need to come talk to me to determine whether or not they're going to be staying. Michelle, Michael says, is it Michelle or Michael? I feel like I'm always pronouncing your name. Is it Michael? Michael LeMay, right? Yes. Says, don't hold your breath on legislation. Melita says, can we get a hallelujah up in here about the women drivers? Praise the Lord. Yes, we are better drivers. Women drivers, and you know, I learned this during a trial that I attended where the woman, they were talking about how they knew that the getaway driver was a woman. How do you pronounce it? Michelle? Spell it phonetically for me. But yes, they were, and the detective was like, okay, well, we know that women drivers tend to follow road rules more. They tend to indicate more. They tend to do this. They tend to become more cautious. And sure enough, every time the person was like changing lanes, whatever they were indicating. So they're like, we're pretty certain based on profiling and what we know about female drivers that this is a female driver. And I was like, oh, female drivers tend to indicate more. They tend to be more cautious on the roadway. I was like, and it's interesting. One of those differences with the sexes. Marshall doesn't agree. He says women aren't better drivers. They're just more cautious than men. Well, wouldn't that make you a better driver, Marshall? But there's some bad drivers in terms of handling a car and reversing. Oh, yes, Michael is your son. I'm sorry. I think that's where the confusion is. It's Michelle and Michael. Thank you so much, sir. Marshall, I still think that women are better drivers, and statistically that has been proven. What I would say is that maybe car handling, and I think, it just depends on how long you've been driving, because I've seen some people, driving a Honda Fit and can't reverse in a spot. And I'm just like, wow, smallest car in the island, you can't get into that spot. You just got to know how to drive. And a lot of times that just comes with practice. And for sure, one of the things that our drivers need is more roadway practice, like getting out there and driving more. You know what I was thinking about? This is an idea I'm just going to throw out there on how to get more practice. They should allow them to do more simulation driving so that they're not on our roadways, but the simulation environment is based on the Cayman roadway. Hear me out. So we do a simulation program. Again, this is a great business idea for somebody. You could sell this. This could be a great way of preparing for your driver's test. So you would have to utilize, I don't know, AI technology, Google Maps, whatever, all the roads, all the signage, everything's there. And you sit in your simulation booth. You drive from here to West Bay to East End, wherever. And it's like you're driving. You got your steering wheel. You got to indicate. You got cars on the roadway. Things happening, like everything. Here comes the ambulance. What do you do? All the same signage, everything. And that is how you practice driving on the roadway before you go in and take your driver's test. I bet you if you required more road hours, and the reason that people don't do it is when they do driver's ed, it is actually more expensive to have a live instruction, like an instructor, right? But if you had a simulation type of environment, it could certainly be cheaper to provide the virtual lessons, if you will. So that you could, you could get it done that way. And then require a significant amount of time for simulation. Now, here's the thing. People always finding a way to con the system. So how do you guarantee that the person doing the simulation driving is the person who's actually going to be showing up for the test? You listen, you got to use technology. This is all about technology now, folks. We live in the 21st century. So you either do a fingerprint scan, and then that has to match when they show up to do the driving test, so that this person with this fingerprint has done this amount of simulation driving, or some kind of ID verification. You do the simulation driving. I mean, a lot of simulation driving hours would be required. And then, you show up and you do the test. So you got to know how to do a three-way turn. Like, I can't believe, I think here in this jurisdiction, you no longer have to know how to do parallel parking. I'm like, why? In town, some spots you got to parallel park. And there's an actual specific way to parallel park so that you get in just right. Don't hit the curb, straighten up and back out. And if you know how to do it, you know how to do it. So that's another thought for you. Tajin is great on mangoes. What is Tajin? Yeah, radio ends at 10:30, Jim. Sorry. We'll try the mango, pepper, and vinegar, and maybe purple onions. Oh, I'm not an onion person. So I will not be adding onions to my thing. Miss Joyce Sands said nothing like Cayman green mangoes. Love it. So listen, we have more questions, I suppose, than anything else this morning. Miss Elaine says, I hate small cars. I reverse perfectly and spot on, but not front way. Give me a truck any day. Well, in theory, you should be able to drive any kind of vehicles once you know how to drive. I must admit, for myself, I've gotten so used to like the reverse cameras and forward cameras now really helping me see like lines and whatever. You kind of overly rely on those things now, but you know, if you got the technology to help you, then it is what it is. Melita says, Sandy, when I got my license, I was taken out by Berman Scott. He's the best. That's why he's still doing it. Mr. Berman Scott does driver's license? He's a teacher? I didn't know that. Miss Aline says, I parallel park all the time. There's nothing to it. Well, that's because you do it all the time. All right, folks. We'll leave the program today. This was such a sad voice note that was being circulated yesterday. I think this is the mother of the young lady. Again, I don't know who the third person is, but hopefully they'll be able to identify them soon. And I'm sure that the police will provide that information. No, I don't know about Mr. Berman. And we'll post up the video of the Cubans. Somebody just sent me this picture of the Cuban simulation environment. Even Cuba has simulation driving as part of their driver's test. What? I tell you, boy, nothing such as an original idea. Good for you, Cuban folks. Here's their simulation. Yeah. I think that should they should do that. Not for the driver's test, I wasn't thinking, but I guess you could do it for the test too. I was thinking more along the lines of like for practice. But what's the difference, really? Sandy, you're making sense about the test, but not to the powers that be. Shaking my head. This person has been scammed of work permit money and they want to talk to me. Oh, Lord Jesus, what a mess. Rumble strips, laughing out loud. You didn't know about Mr. Berman. That's how he pays his bills. He's been doing it for years. Oh, I did not know that. Okay, what a mess. I didn't have to obviously take a driver's test here because I was driving for many years before I moved back, but there you go. All right, fire trucks heading to East End now. Oh, Lord, more drama. Ay. All right, folks, again, our condolences to all of the people involved in this accident. Please just slow down. Don't drink and drive and slow down. I mean, speed kills. People making wrong decisions in vehicles end up taking the lives. Sometimes it's going to be your life that you're going to take and the lives of your loved ones, and sometimes it's a total stranger. But here again, this is a voice note from the mother, it seems like, of, ooh, I need to get into the other mango seasoning. Thank you, Blackberry. Tajin is a Hispanic seasoning with lime. Love it. All right, so here's the mom talking about her loss, and we're very, very sorry.
Oh, nothing left for them, you know, yo. You can't just imagine we come up to make life, yo, and dead, so. Yo, we rough in our chain and no nothing left for them, you know, man. Them burn, you know. Yo, them burn, and them a cry out for help, and nobody can help them, yo. Just me. I just don't know this hurt me. Me know say them a cry out all for help, and nobody can help them. God, I just don't know. Come like me that go bust. Yo, nothing left for them, you know, yo. You can't just imagine we come up to make life, yo, and dead, so. Yo, we rough in our chain and no nothing left for them, you know, man. Them burn, you know. Yo, them burn, and them a cry out for help, and nobody can help them, yo. Just me. I just don't know this hurt me. Me know say them a cry out all for help, and nobody can help them. God, I just don't know. Come like me that go bust.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Cold Hard Truth on Bobo 89.1 FM. Cayman's #1 talk show is live weekdays from 7:30 a.m. Never miss an episode again. Watch anytime on CMR's Facebook and YouTube channels for the latest show episodes. Don't forget to follow us online on our social media channels and visit CaymanMarlRoad.com for all the latest news and community happenings.